There we go. There we go. You guys like that?
I love it.
Let's do it, man.
That's my very good friend Giovanni Sanders. He and I have been working on doing a special theme song for this, just for this show. If you know anything about my show, you already know that I do the music for my own. But I would give Giovanni a chance. Finally found a place to put you, Giovanni. Thank you.
Hey, welcome, guys. We're at another episode of Access Vegas. I'm super excited. Man, I've been looking forward to this so much.
Yeah,
this is like the greatest thing ever. There's other shows that do stuff like this. I love it because, you know, I'm friends with a lot of you guys. And I was always looking for a way because I couldn't do podcast episodes on there. I don't know if you guys if you guys wanted me to do 3 hours on each one of you. So I thought this was a great way for us to like get out here, talk about what's going on in Las Vegas, talk about dating in this city, which is really different from anywhere else. And in general, talk about like some sociological surveys that kind of are interesting to a lot of people. So I'm going to get to our 4 guests here today. I'm really excited. First one, she is a pageant model. She's a professional smoke show. She's in better shape than you are. Welcome, Mrs. Jordan Sky, to the podcast. What's up, Jordan? And also, she's an internet superstar. You'll see her all over Las Vegas. She's always out at the clubs with me sometimes. This is Miss Natty Nuggs. What's going on, Natty?
Nuggs.
Hello.
What's happening, girl? Awesome. She is a former Miss Red Rock. She's a Maxim model, and she was also with me at Wet Republic when I worked there all summer. She's currently at Omnia. This is Miss Stephanie Joseph. How you doing, Stephanie?
Great.
Awesome. Beautiful. And she is an adult actress. She is a financial dominatrix, which you're going to get into quite a bit. And she's a cannabis influencer. This is Miss Doma. What's going on, Doma?
What's up?
Beautiful. Glad to have all you guys here. So there's a couple things. I wanted to start this off because I just did Fresh and Fit like 3 times last week. And we had a question that we asked there. And I really love this whole thing because it kind of sets up the whole point of this show, right? And it is, we always talk about men are like this or women are like this. One thing that was always annoying to me is whenever I watch Dr. Phil or Oprah or The View or whatever,
They
would make these fucking statements, and the thing is, they would ask questions, and there are answers to these questions. Do men cheat or women cheat more? There's an answer to this question. You guys know that, right? They've surveyed 30,000 people anonymously that are men and women. You can find out actual answers to how many people an average person has had sex with, or how long a marriage lasts, or whether or not a marriage lasts. There's actual answers, but nobody ever looks these answers up. And these answers are done a lot of times by the U.S. Census. They're done by different universities, and that's one of the things that we try to do on the show. We try to have an evidence-based approach to dating, relationships, and evolutionary psychology as far as stuff as that is concerned. So the first thing I want to ask you guys is the demographics of your ideal man, okay? And it's I know obviously if some of you guys are seeing someone, you're going to be kind of in a tricky situation because if your ideal man is 6'3" and your boyfriend's 5'7", this is going to be a problem. So whatever answer that you need to give is totally fine, but we're going to go with the ideal man. Can you write these down real quick?
Sure,
I'll
run and grab
I'm on it.
Okay, cool. So here's
my notebook's in my backpack.
Okay, beautiful. So let's do the first one, Jordan. There's a couple things I'm going to ask you. Okay, I'm going to ask you. Can you pull up the delusional calculator?
Yeah.
Okay. So here's what we're going to do. All right, we're going to take the numbers for your ideal man, and we're going to look it up as a percentage. Okay, because this is something a lot of ladies don't know. Now, the thing is, for you ladies, obviously you live in Las Vegas. You're exposed to a lot. You guys are all on social media. You're exposed to a lot men, a lot more than your ancestors were. Do you understand that, right? More men have seen you in your life than your great-great-grandmother did in 1850, right? Your great-great-grandmother may have met a total of 15 men in her entire life, maybe 10. And you guys have been, I'll bet you if we go through your impressions on all 4 of your Instagrams, we're coming up on 4 or 5 million impressions a month, right? So this is a very different world that we live in. But with that being said, one of the things that I think a lot of women don't understand is how few men there are. Like, for instance, how few men are over 6 feet tall. What do you guys think? Would you take a guess?
Man, I don't know. I feel like there are a lot of like shorter guys. I feel like for me, especially being a tall girl, it is so hard to find a guy that's like way taller than me.
How tall are you?
I'm 5'8". Mm-hmm. So I mean, yeah, definitely as far as like that goes. Yeah.
What percentage of men do you think are over? Just in the United States.
Okay, I'd say probably like 40.
40% of men over 6 feet tall. What do you think?
Yeah.
30.
30. What do you think?
Probably like 20.
20. What do you think?
I was thinking the 40 too.
40. Yeah, it's 14% of men are over 6 feet tall.
Woo.
Yeah. So once you get, yeah. See now, there's the first expression. We can look at Natty's face real quick.
I just think everyone's tall.
Yeah. Okay. So good.
How tall are you?
I'm 5'2". So I think everyone's tall.
All right. Good. Get ready because this whole show is going to be just like this. Okay. So now 14%. Now when we get to 6'3", what percentage of the population? What do you think? Just blurt out a number real quick.
4. You know it's lower than 14.
Like, yeah, like probably like 4. Yeah.
What do you think?
I wanted to say
6'3".
10.
What's 6'3"?
Yeah,
What
I
do
was gonna.
It's 1% of the population is over 6'3".
God damn.
Yeah, 1% of the population. Now, what happens is, where do you guys live here? A 6'4" gorgeous former male stripper turned VIP host walks you into the fucking nightclub, has tried to fuck all of your friends, sneaks in your DMs. You understand what I'm saying? So
I got another question. What do you think the average height of the average American male is right now? Average height.
5'6".
Probably 5'8".
5'8".
I
would say like 5'8".
5'7".
It's interesting that you would think 40% of men are over 6 feet tall, but the average American male is 5'8". That doesn't make any sense. It's 5'10".
5'9".
5'9". Sorry, yeah. So 5'9" is the average North American male. Okay, got it. Cool. So
Tom Cruise, 5'7".
cool. So we're gonna go now. The other thing is, I'm just curious. What do you think the average guy makes in the United States? Like a household income for one person, single male. What do you think?
Average, maybe probably like 80K.
Wow. What do you think?
400,000.
Average man
Oh,
does not make
average
400,000.
man. We're talking about annual, right?
Yeah.
200,000.
Average man make 200,000. What do you think?
I don't know.
Girl.
I don't know.
I don't know. Realistically, with everything that just went on in the world, I don't know, maybe like 70,000. I know that sounds crazy, but average male, 70,000
Average male.
Okay.
before tax.
Wow, this whole time I was thinking like 60.
Interesting. Yeah, it's $37,000 a year.
Oh,
Fuck.
Oh, interesting. So 1% of men are over 6'3". The average, the median take-home pay is $37,000. For a household, it's $69,000 for a household.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Again, you guys are used to being, hey, I went to the club. The guy spent $15K bottleman, and he makes $4 million a year. Isn't that how most men are? No. The guy, seriously, if we were to go to Walmart and you were to see like the Filipino cashier who's 5'2", you don't even notice him. When it comes to dating, you literally don't even fucking see him. And that's the thing. That's one of the things we're trying to bring up is that like the world is not what you think it is. Just when you're here, like when women complain that men cheat, the number of men that cheat is extremely low. Most men don't have the ability to cheat. Most men don't have any chance whatsoever to cheat. Do you guys understand?
It's just men in Vegas.
No, it doesn't men in Vegas. That's funny. That's funny. No, but a lot of men in Vegas will come here because they have an advantage. Like the guy who works security at the nightclub takes fucking roids. And he works like 3 or 4 different jobs, and he's been with hundreds of women. The average North American male, how many sexual partners do you think he's had in his life?
60.
60. What do you think?
Wait. You said average? Like 6.
6. What do you think?
5.
5.
I'll say probably like 8 to 10, probably
8 to 10, yeah.
average. Yeah.
Y'all start undershooting
It's
now.
amazing. You guys are getting it. Yes. So the answer is 5.
Yes.
It's 5. It's 5 for. I thought it was 7. It's actually 5. It's 5 for men.
We
It's
looked it up this morning.
It's 3. It's 3 for women. Now here's another thing. I just because I don't want to make you guys guess, but for men, the top 5% of men or top 5% of women have had 35 sexual partners. With the most number of sexual partners. The top 5% of men have had 150. So it's a little bit more skewed towards men at the top. Whereas so for men, it would look like this. Actually, let me express this before we go forward. The number of men that have 0 sexual partners, or in the say no sexual partners in the last year, what percentage of men have had no sex in the last year? Domo, you know because I brought this up on your show. Do you remember?
No, I don't.
I got it.
But
yes, go for it.
You said the percentage of men that have no
sexless guys.
Sexless guys. That weirdo who does the crosswalk at the school, all of them. The guy who fucking gives you your...
Should we give him the age range?
No, 18 to 30, you're right. So the guy who fucking gives you your fucking food at the drive-thru, the percentage of them that have 0 sexual partners in the last year,
10%?
what do you think? 10%, what do you think?
I would say like 30.
30, what do you think?
Maybe like 30. I don't know. That sounds like an unhappy married man, you know?
Go ahead.
You could go a full year without sex.
I was thinking like 70, 75.
70% of men have had 0 sexual partners in the last year.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
They all go online.
That's no, it's not. No. I mean, it's interesting you say that. Yeah.
That's what they do.
Yeah. So it used before 2008, the number was about 16%. Now it's 33%. It's almost doubled in the last decade because in 2008, what happened? What happened, guys? What happened in 2008?
Social media.
Social media.
The Facebook app went on the iPhone. That's essentially what happened in 2008. And from that point forward, you're right, men's ability to communicate with other women became almost non-existent. Does that make sense? Right. And it got significantly worse and worse. Social media did not make it easier for men to meet women. It made it easier for a small group of men with Lamborghinis, with fucking six-pack abs, with Patek watches, with mansions to meet all of the girls. Does that make sense? And then part of the proof is when I asked you guys what percentage of men you think were 6'3", you said, 4% or whatever, and it's 1%. So these men that you think are normal, making $200,000 a year, by the way, the top 1% of wage earners in the United States make how much? What do you think? We're talking the top 1%. The top one, you're at the very top 1%. What do you think it is?
I really couldn't answer that.
Do you think 200,000, 300,000, 400,000, 3 million, 4 million?
No, I was thinking like at least 2 million.
2 million? What do you think? Meaning 99% of men make less than this number.
Maybe like 7 million, 6
7
million
a year? A year. Not total net worth. I'm talking about how much they make a year. 7 million?
Maybe like 5, 6.
5, 6 million. Okay, what do you think?
1 million.
1 million? What do you
10
think?
million.
Yeah, probably $1 million.
Yeah, beautiful. $400,000.
What?
You guys have you guys who've worked in bottle service, you guys have people you serve all the time that make more than $400,000 a year, right?
Yeah.
The top 1% of wage earners makes $400,000 a year. The average man makes $37,000 a year. Ready? Wow. Now, here's what happens. Now you start, because here's the problem. A lot of women are like, why can't I find a good man? And the reason why is because you think they exist when they don't. They fucking don't. And that's the thing. It's like, it's one of these things that this city kind of screws you up because you met a really hot guy who works at the club or whatever. You're sleeping with the DJ and you're just like, no, he thinks that I'm different. But no, the DJ's been with a bunch of girls because the DJ's 6'3", makes $200,000 a year. And he has so many fucking options you don't realize. Whereas every other man you met in your entire life has none. It's not a linear progression. It's a fucking exponential progression. So we just said 33% of men, 0 sexual partners. The average North American male has 5. So once we get to the 50th percentile, we're at 5. When we said we get to the top 5%, we said 150 partners. It goes like this. Whoop. That's what it looks like. So it's like, and when women are complaining about men over and over, they are literally fighting over this 5% of men that they're all fighting over. Do you understand?
So with all of that in mind,
now
let's find your ideal guy.
We're gonna find your ideal guy. I almost wish we'd done this first, but we did it in reverse order.
But it's cool because now they have a preview here.
Yeah, cool. Okay. You like this? We do a lot of sociological stuff on the show.
Yeah.
Cool. It's about to get way more interesting once we get to this part. Now, the first question: we're going to talk about your ideal man. Okay, and how tall he is. How tall is he? Can you write these down so we can put them all?
Yeah. We'll average them out.
Yeah. Needs to be a minimum of what?
It's got to be taller than me, I guess.
But you're 5
foot.
You're 5 feet?
Yeah, I'm a little baby.
That's right, you are. I keep forgetting.
Taller than me. I used to care a lot about height.
5'1" is good. So 5'1"
is the bare minimum.
Like 5'7".
5'7".
Would be the lowest.
Good enough.
Beautiful. Natty.
I think like 5'8", 5'9" would be
really?
the shortest. Yeah.
Okay.
But I think
you're 5'3".
Tall, 5'2".
You're 5'2".
On a good day.
Yeah. If we hang you upside down for half an hour, you're 5'3". If you spend a week in space, you're 5'3".
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Shout out to the flat earthers. You can go to space. Fuck you. Fuck you.
Minimum height.
6 feet.
6 feet. Okay.
Yeah, there goes the average. Oh, wow.
5'7".
5'7"? Really? Okay, this is crazy. All right, this is definitely the shortest we've ever got. So just to let you guys know, on dating profiles, it'll go like you'll have a normal distribution for men. We don't care about a woman's height at all. Absolutely no preference. Men will put 5'3", no 5'1". They do not care in the slightest. Men do not care whatsoever. There's a few men that are super into like models in New York or whatever, but we're talking about less than 1% of men. Most men absolutely do not care about height. For women, you have this normal distribution in Europe where it goes by centimeters, right? And in the normal distribution looks like this, but not in the United States because we don't go by centimeters, do we? We go by feet and inches, and it goes like the normal distribution is 6'3", 6'2", 6'1", 6 foot, and then at 5'11", it drops off a fucking cliff. This does not happen in Europe. It only happens in the United States. For some reason, American women who go by the imperial system, that 6 foot number is a magic number, even though it doesn't mean shit. And most of the guys that you're dating who are 6 feet are wearing those Balenciaga lifts that makes them 2 inches taller.
All right, let's do age. Age. Minimum age, maximum age.
Oh, man. I mean, based on experience, probably somebody either 25 years older than me, maximum, and then minimum, like 2 years younger than me.
Can you just give an age for the guys?
Oh, for the guys? Oh.
Without me asking how old you are.
I mean, I thought we were like picking
I'll
out
ask
like
you if you
our
want.
max
You could go
that
there.
we would date.
Yeah, the website doesn't know how old you are.
Okay.
I need an age range.
Probably like anywhere from like my age to like mid 30s.
How old are you?
I'm 28.
28.
Yeah.
28
We
to
didn't-
mid 30s.
To mid-30s?
I was like, yeah, mid 30s.
Let's say 25 to 35.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you want?
I like older men, so I would say like 40.
40?
Yeah.
Oldest, what's the
40.
youngest?
What's the oldest?
Oh, the oldest? Oh, God.
You're a femdom queen. We're going to talk about femdom for a long time here.
So 40 is your youngest.
40 is my youngest.
Okay.
I mean, I could go like 36 maybe, but say like 55.
Okay. So yeah, say 36 to 55.
All right,
What
got
do
it.
you want?
Let's say like 30 to 50,
30 to 50?
that whole range.
Miss Nugs?
23 to 40.
23
Ooh,
to 40. You would date a
23.
23-year-old?
Get it.
Real talk?
I'm really like motherly.
Yeah.
Ooh,
I usually take care of people, so
Okay.
that's
rob the
why I'm
cradle.
not- yeah.
Okay, cool. Got it. All right. So,
okay,
now
let me key this in here.
No, here's the
Okay.
thing. Just so we can skip this part, just in case. Do you guys care about his physique? Would you be with a guy who's a little bit chunky, or you do not want someone who's obese, or you don't care?
I absolutely give a fuck if a man takes care of himself, because why would I be taking care of myself more than he is?
Hell yeah. Okay. And what do you think?
Yeah, same. Like, I mean, it's not a big deal if they're a little out of shape, but as long as they're like healthy, that's my main thing. It's like
Yeah.
you don't need to be jacked or anything, but you do need to be, healthy and in shape and keep up with me if I want to,
I'm going
go out and do
to
something.
exclude obese.
Yeah. Okay. What about you, Dumbo? You would exclude obese?
I personally, I mean, I wouldn't do obese, but I personally don't really care. But as long as, they put some initiative to like going to the gym and eating well. But I do like people
Natty?
who
Yeah, I
like
feel
to
like
eat.
it really depends on the person. I like really scrawny sometimes, like really tall, skinny, like.
Heroin chic.
I'm like learning so much about Natty.
Yeah.
But I also like dad bods, so it doesn't really matter. It depends
there
on
we
the
go.
person.
Okay,
And-
we're
What's
coming,
up-
we're coming
what's
back
up-
to that
Dad
one.
bod?
I just
God.
recently started liking men with muscles. That's new for me. I was never into that.
It's the cycle, roided up cycle every spring here in Vegas. That's when all the fight. That's when all the fights start.
Wintertime, the dad
All the
bods come out.
girls are laughing because it's true.
Yeah.
So the thing is, what the problem with the whole dad bod myth is, if I were to show you an actual dad bod, you'd be like, "That's gross." People think dad bod is Jason Momoa. That's not dad bod. Okay.
Oh God, no.
Yeah, dad bod is like pasty, fat, no six pack, muffin top hanging over the side. That's the dad
Yum.
bod.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Leonardo
I just said
DiCaprio.
like thick. Actually, yeah. I mean, I'd have to see. There's like a range.
For sure. I've just found that when women say dad bod and we show dad bod, it doesn't match up.
All right.
Okay.
We should exclude.
And then the last one's
we should exclude
We'll
married.
do both. We'll do both.
We should exclude married or not?
Yeah. Would you guys ever date a married person? Just raise your hand if you would. No.
No.
Have you guys ever dated a married person?
Oh, I mean, I would date them if like I was dating their wife too.
Okay.
Like,
Good answer.
Yeah,
I don't have that option. here.
I know.
I
I
have-
usually check off like a different box.
Okay.
I have dated a married man, but I would never do it again. It would just have to be more so like on terms.
Yeah, for sure.
Exclude married.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we got to do race.
No, we haven't done money yet. What,
Money.
the
yeah, we'll do
minimum
money.
income.
Yeah.
Like how much they would have to make a year?
Yeah.
Yeah, minimum.
Probably 70,000.
Okay. Minimum income.
Annually?
Yeah.
Ooh. I don't know. 40,000?
40. What do you want? What do you think?
Maybe more.
Well,
Came back.
from where I come from, I feel like you got to be making more than my real father, first of all, or
Okay.
I'm not going to take you seriously. Second of all, I'm thinking about a mill. I know that sounds
Yeah.
crazy,
No, that's
but I
fine.
have my
It's okay.
reasons.
That's
I have
fine.
my reasons.
Okay, I'm going to average it. That's fine.
That's fine. And yours? No, what we're going to do is
At least you didn't say 5. That's what CJ Sparks said. when she was-
yeah, she said $5 million a year is what her minimum was. We'll do the highest and then we'll do the lowest.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Highest and lowest?
No, not you.
I will.
Just
You guys
okay,
tell me.
okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like as long as they pay all their own bills and aren't making me take care of them, it's fine. But like I said, I usually end up taking care of them. So I guess I don't really look at guys' money sometimes. And it's one of my flaws. It's
all I care about right now.
Yeah, it's actually one of my biggest flaws. Trust me.
Maddie, have you
You're
ever,
going to care about it. You're
Maddie,
going to
have
care
you ever
about it.
dated a guy who like does
homeless?
Who's
Wait.
homeless, yeah. Couch surfing, homeless dude. Have you ever dated
I
someone?
didn't know.
Or would be homeless.
Because I know.
Came over and had a backpack and then never left.
Yeah.
And I was really confused because
And what ski
I was
resort
like,
did he
oh,
work at?
you just came to visit, but you have your toothbrush, like everything with you? That's weird.
I'm learning so much about you, Natty. I did not
I
know.
know.
Just give a number. What's the minimum number you think they'd have to make?
Okay, like
Annual salary.
40.
40?
Yeah.
You know what's interesting? We had Amanda Nicole on here a while ago, and she started talking about when she was dating guys in Los Angeles. It's like they had so much money that they would like not pay a lot of attention to some girls because they were just fucking loaded. She said, like, I like living in Vegas because these dudes are broke. They're so good looking and they're fucking broke. And
Hella
it's funny.
broke.
And it's funny listening to you girls because the answers that we got in Miami from women who are not, I don't mean to be rude, but like not anywhere near an order of magnitude less attractive than you guys. They were all saying they needed guys making 130 or less, and they believed. I mean, their numbers were outrageous, except for the mill. Their numbers were just fucking outrageous. Every one of them wanted to date a guy with 6'3". It was crazy. All right, cool. So very, very cool. So now here's what we're gonna do. Let's do this. Let's exclude obese. Let's do.
We got to do race too.
Oh, race. Sorry. Yeah. What race? Do you not care?
Yeah, I don't care.
Any?
Yeah,
Okay.
any.
Okay, because the options are this: any, white, black, or Asian.
I don't care. Any.
I like white boys for sure.
Okay. We are in Las Vegas because that is the least common answer in Miami.
Yeah, I don't really care.
Don't really care.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna put any at this point. Okay. All right. Ready?
So let's start.
So-
Let's start at the top. So she
1
said
mil?
7. No, we can't do 1 mil.
No. Okay. Well, the lowest was 40,000.
So the top. Let's start at the top. The top would be 500,000.
Well, she said 1 mil, but
Said
like
1 mil.
I
But you can't go up.
I,
You
I
can't
can
go
only
above
go.
5.
I can max it out. That's
Yeah,
all.
max out is 500,000. The top 1% of wage earners in the United States make $400,000 a year.
Okay.
So that's it. So let's max that out, and then let's say the tallest you said was 6 feet tall.
I got the average at 5'10" right now.
Yeah, but let's not do the average. I want to do the top.
Oh, the top.
Yeah,
So
let's do the top.
the top was what, 6?
She said 6 feet tall. Yeah, she said a mil.
Okay.
Any race, and then they said not married
Not obese.
and not obese.
And we said the age range was
Let's
28
just
to
say for
50?
this, let's just say 25 to 55. Just put them all in.
25
There.
to 55. We got it. Okay.
All right. Those parameters we just gave you, they're 6 feet tall. We're going to do all of them, by the way. They're 6 feet tall. They make $70,000 a year. They are not married and they are not obese of any race. What percentage of men do you think that is?
70,000?
70, yeah.
Okay. Well, max.
Actually, no. Wait, she
I was
said
at- I was
let's
at- I
max
was
it
at-
out.
I was
Max
at
it out.
max.
Max it
Yeah,
out.
I was at max.
Max it out first, and then we'll do 500.
500,000. Okay.
Making 500,000. What percentage?
10.
Jesus Christ. Okay, what do you think?
Probably like 0.5%.
0.5. Somebody can do math. What do you think?
0.3.
0.3. What do you think?
I was gonna say like 2%.
2%. What is the answer?
The answer is 0.010%.
So it's 1/100th of 1% of men
Aiming
because
high.
because we just said 400,000 is the top 1% of
Yeah.
our wage earners. So the number can't be higher than the number can't be higher than 1%. Does that make sense? Now do the same thing with $70,000. $70,000, same numbers. What percentage of men? What do you think?
Probably like 5%.
What do you think?
I'll say 5%. Yeah.
I don't know, like 1%.
What do you think?
Okay, this is the 2%.
2%. What do you think?
Getting close. 0.83%.
Yes.
Almost 1%.
So, guys, ready? Here we go, guys. You want a dude who is over 6 feet tall and makes $70,000 a year? It is 0.8%. That is the likelihood of you finding them. Now, it's skewed. It's skewed for you guys because it's skewed for you guys because you live here with a bunch of fucking male bartenders, male strippers, and male VIP hosts, and a lot of them are in that category, and so you believe that's what they're talking about. By the way, a lot of the hosts here are lying about how much money they make. So that's essentially what happens, because they end up on your fucking couch for a long time. But that's essentially what happens here. And so this is kind of part of the delusion where women start to believe that these numbers exist. And part of the reason why is because social media kind of makes us believe it that way. By the way, men have the opposite problem. You know what it is? It's called pornography. We watch porn and we start believing that women are like that, and they're not like that.
There is a male delusion calculator,
yeah.
too, by the way.
Oh, there is?
Yes.
Oh, cool. We need to check that out.
We'll definitely have to check that out.
The problem with the male delusional calculator is like your physical attractiveness is not something that's very easy for us to calculate. You understand?
Yeah. Well,
and
there's different criteria, too.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Very cool.
Okay, do we want to do another one? Or
No, let's do the low end. So we're going to do 40,000 a year. We're going to do 5'7".
Okay.
$40,000 a year. Any race, not married, not obese.
40,000. What did you say? 5 what?
5'7".
5'7". Any race, not obese. Age range the same.
Let's do 25 to 55.
Okay. And 40,000. Okay. All right. Now,
this sounds like
now
an
we
average man.
Here we go. Okay. So, not married, any race, at least 5'7", not obese, and earning at least $40,000 per year.
Hey, by the way, there's another thing. You know what most people making over $130,000 a year, most of them have in common? They're married. So when you guys say not married, you are excluding a massive amount of the male population.
Oh,
that's one of the things that happen because the majority of millionaires in this country are married, and so that's the reason why that was also excluded. That. So go ahead. What's the answer? Oh, hold on. What do you guys think? What do you think the answer is? 5'7", $40,000 a year.
Probably like 2%.
No, it's gonna be higher. Go ahead.
20%.
Maybe like 50%.
Like 6.
I don't know the answer to this, and I think it's going to be over 40%. What do you think?
It is 9%.
9%.
9.0%.
So the reason why that is, again, because of
You're close. Who said 10? You win.
because of the marriage, because of the
20.
marriage statistics, and because, like I said before, so many men in this country make less than $37,000 a year. That's the reason why that number's so low.
Now you're getting towards
Wow.
averages. So you've got 5'7". So we already know that the average height of the American male is 5'9".
Do you know most of the club promoters you guys know don't make $40,000 a year? Like that there's a lot of that. Yes, for sure. The guys who are stocking the shelves at Walmart in the middle of the night do not make $40,000 a year. And so that's the reason why that happens. Now, if we were in New York State, yes. If we're like in Manhattan, those numbers are going to be skewed upwards, obviously, because of cost of living there. And same thing in Los Angeles. But in general, if somebody lives in Waco, Texas, there's a lot of guys out there that are not making $40,000 a year. Crazy. Kind of sucks to be a dude, doesn't it?
Yes.
Kind of like gives you some insight to the plight that they have and why so many of them like started doing a bunch of crazy shit on the internet in the last couple of years. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This is one of the reasons why I wanted to do this, because I wanted to have people understand whether or not you like people like, I don't know, we'll just say Andrew Tate. The reason why so many people, like why there were 12 billion searches of his name this past year. He was the most searched person on TikTok and the most searched person on Google up back in August in the entire world, was because there were a bunch of these men who nobody noticed. Do you understand? And women are like, oh yeah, just be hotter and taller and just have more money. Why don't you? Then you'll get all the girls you want. Do you understand how like demeaning that was to a lot of men? And they were sitting there and nobody was listening to them. No one noticed them. And then he came up and started saying the stuff he said, regardless if you agree with it or not. The reality of the situation is that's where it came from. Does that make sense? It was almost like when you think about the coal miners during the Trump administration, when he was talking to these unemployed coal miners, getting them to vote for him, or the African Americans that ended up voting for Barack Obama. They went and found a group of people that did not feel like they were being represented, and then they represented those people. That's essentially what happened. Got it? Mm-hmm. Got it. Okay, awesome.
The other thing is also the obesity rates, too. So
yeah, that's the other thing. About 75%
well,
of
75% of the U.S. population is overweight.
Yeah, that's the other reason why. And I should have said that.
35% of men are obese, and 40% of women are morbidly obese.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
75% of the population is obese. Yes. When you go to Europe, you don't see these morbidly obese people. So one of the problems is from an evolutionary standpoint, your species, and you can see this with like Yanomamo Indians, and there's certain Yanomamo. Sorry,
I know, it's hard.
This is Professor Jared Diamond from UCLA.
Yes.
Thank you, Professor Diamond.
Before anybody gives us grief about this, because I know people are going to take this and they're going to clip it and they'll go, are those numbers really what? Yes, they are. They're drawn from the U.S. Census Bureau data and the NCHS data. So go talk to them if you don't believe it.
So with some of these Inuit tribes, some of these ancestral tribes, what'll happen is when those people are introduced to McDonald's, the first time they're introduced to like Western cuisine, they become diabetic. Often they become morbidly obese because in their society they're scourging for food, right? They're hunter gatherers. They have to hunt for meat, and they might not consume meat for maybe once every 14 days. Then all of a sudden they live in this, like, you can be lower middle class in the United States and eat enough French fries till you die, till you fucking die. You can afford French fries till you die. There's a 99-cent menu over at Wendy's that will fucking kill you if you want it to. You understand? So that's the reason why we don't have to forage for food anymore, and so we have an obesity rate that's just outrageous, and that's what happens. You can use fat in certain ways where it actually acts in the brain like heroin. There's a great book on this called Sugar, Salt, Fat, and the Omnivore's Dilemma. If you guys want to read that, you can actually use fat, and it will trigger the same reward center as fucking heroin. That's what happens, and so people do that. They trick some of these food producers trick your mind, and then so you're eating those You remember those Lunchables with the crackers and the fucking yellow cheese in it? Yeah, they were so the little pizza, the pepperonis and everything.
Are you guys on diets? Like, are you guys? Do you like stick to an eating pattern or some kind?
Yeah.
'Cause, I mean, most of you are like, well, all of you are models to some degree. I mean, you're on Instagram. Are you on some sort of like fitness / diet program?
Yeah, I meal prep. No carbs ever.
No carbs ever.
It's rough. I try not to have that
Carnivore
many.
diet.
Yeah, she punched me the other day. I was like, dude, she hadn't had any carbs. I had a donut in front of her. She hit me.
I'm at least like aware. I'm not on a strict diet, but I've cut red meat out, and I just try to pick healthier options now.
Yeah, I mean, same thing with me. Like, I just try to eat like a lot of meat. Around this time is like audition season, so right now, I would be dieting. But normally, like when I'm not at the pool, then I'll just same thing, just kind of like eat healthy for the most part. But also, I'm not gonna turn down a pizza. So.
I know. It's my kryptonite too.
I was doing really well, and then
So you walked in here and open kitchen.
Saw the donuts out there.
And then I've just been traveling the last 2 months. I had to go see my family, and then holidays, and I also I love food, so it's really hard for me. Yeah.
No, I asked that because I think a lot of people what I get a lot of criticism for is like a lot of people will watch shows like this, or they'll watch like Fresh and Fit or something, and they'll say, well, those women on that show are like handpicked, they're like cherry picked from this is we want to in some way insinuate that this is you guys are the average women out there. That's why I'm asking about like food and your preps and stuff like that, to see like exactly like what it is that you guys do because clearly no one here is overweight, so you're already beating the odds as far as like the 75% of the United States. But I think that a lot of people will probably say, well, they starve themselves, right? They wake up in the morning and they just like have coffee and stress. That's their diet,
No, actually, the hardest challenge for me was having a baby and then going back down to my size. That was like.
Did you breastfeed?
I did. My daughter didn't really latch on well, and so, but I did try for the longest, and then once I was done, I was like.
You've seen where women will breastfeed to the point where they'll be ripped.
Yeah.
They'll burn off every calorie. They have to do nothing. They'll end up breastfeeding their children until they're like 5 or 6 because they lose lose so many calories that way. That's crazy. If you just had like a pump that could just all the calories in your body would just go, it'd be freaking incredible.
Hey, Travis, I see there's one super chat there, but before you ask that, how many of you guys are on birth control right now?
Hell no.
Not
Not
me.
touching that.
Absolutely
Nope.
not.
You're not on hormonal birth control?
No.
Wow. No one at this table is on hormonal birth control? Really?
I swear it's why I
It's-
feel like I'm so chill.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so you tried it before, and then what
Yes.
happened?
It just makes you emotional.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I think that there's a definitive line between girls that take birth control and girls that don't.
Travis, can you read that real quick?
I sure can. Ladies and gentlemen, did you know you can super chat this stream and these ladies might actually read your comment? Who knew? So this super chat is from Pat Stedman's Polished Passport.
Thank you, Pat.
Have the ladies noticed any difference of guys they're into when they're off birth control versus on birth control?
Great question. Did you notice any difference?
Yes. And I actually, from being to the doctor, they say that's a thing that happens. You can actually be more attracted to a male that you're with while you're on birth control. And then the second you go off of it, your hormones change and you're no longer attracted to him.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, we just had a podcast about that.
Yeah.
Last week, it came out a couple of days ago. So basically the idea is this, and I want to ask you the rest of you this question, because what will happen is basically the way it works is when women right before the week before they ovulate, they're more attracted to men that have more masculine features. There have been several studies that have been replicated that show this. That women
It's called the ovulatory shift.
Yeah, so there's an ovulatory shift that happens, and women are more attracted. They tend to wear red colors, and they tend to be more attracted to men that are
Hoop earrings.
Yeah, and they tend to be more attracted to men who have like symmetrical fucking masculine features. And what happens is when you're on birth control, this doesn't happen anymore, and you end up with this is not my words, but somebody else's words. These women will end up marrying men who are much more beta, much more feminine looking than what they're normally attracted to. Then when they try to have kids, they get off the birth control and they look at their fucking weak-chinned husband, and they're like, "What the fuck is this?" And then divorces happen. Then massive amount of divorces.
I understand that though, because when you're on birth control, you're way more emotional. I feel like your mental equilibrium's a little bit off. So you're going to need a man that is more beta, that's going to listen to your shit and put up with you crying and put up with you being emotional. Whereas when you're off of it, you're more stable, so you can have a more masculine man that's going to put you in your place when you're acting out. He's going to be like, cut that shit out. So I totally agree with that.
I
And be with an alpha.
I had to get off of it because every time my period would come, it was like super emotional for no reason, and I would have like really bad fights with my boyfriends, and
Did you notice
and
that
also
you were
low libido.
Did you notice attraction that was different when you were on it, or attraction to different types of men when you were on it or off it?
No, I don't think
See,
so.
that's a common thing. So here's the thing. I don't know if you and I have ever had this conversation before, but one of the things when we're talking about like ovulatory shift, really what it is it's throughout a woman's menstrual cycle. There's the first 14 days, and then there's the last up to 28 days, right? So it's a 28-day cycle. So between day 1 and day 7, I know he's going to, here we go. Between day 1 and day 7 is when you get really bitchy, and that's the premenstrual syndrome comes through there, okay? So, but from like 7 to 14, that's when you're ovulating, and that's when it's time to go do a girls' night, or go, hey, let's go to Vegas, and what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, right? And so then the egg drops, and then you go into what's called the luteal phase, and that's the phase in which like women tend to be more attracted to more feminized features. They're looking for comfort and rapport. You go get your girls around you, and that's when you call your beta boyfriend and say, "Oh, he's so fucked up. I can't believe my help man. You know, I fucked him last week, whatever." That's when you get the guys who are like sort of like a beta orbiter, so give you that comfort and everything. And then right towards the end of that cycle, right around 20, like about the 28 days point right there, that's when you go into being real bitchy, and you push away all the betas and all the orbiters, and you go back into the cycle once again. And by the way, I didn't know if you were aware of this, but it also emulates pregnancy, and you're the only one that I know at this table who's been pregnant. So you've heard of did you go through a nesting phase when you were when you were pregnant? Did you like want to like stay at home and eat mac and cheese and be comfortable and like sort of in that nesting phase?
And be home, yeah.
So what happens is right after when you go into the luteal phase, it goes there's a kind of like a smaller a lower scaled nesting phase. So if the body thinks, a female body thinks that it's pregnant, then it goes into like, oh, I better get all my girls around me because I might be pregnant, and so therefore I'm going to need support, and I'm going to need the village to kind of help me out here. And then then the body realizes that it isn't, and then it goes back into the cycle once again. You go and start looking for guys who are more alpha, and that's where the idea is that hormonal birth control pushes that down. Now, some people will say, well, there's been some studies where what you guys experienced was I was with a guy, he was very beta, I went off of hormonal birth control, and I'm like, what am I? It's like waking up from some stupor, like, oh my gosh, what am I doing with this guy? But Dr. Marty Hazelton, as far as I've been able to find out in her book Hormonal, it doesn't necessarily like eliminate that want for the alpha. It just compresses all of that, like the luteinizing hormone and progesterone and everything. So it's not so much like it eliminates the alpha fucks side of that. It depresses it and converts. So when When you go off of it, it all spikes up again once, like going off of, say, like TRT or something.
Yeah.
All your hormones come back up again.
Yeah, very nice. Did you notice before or after on birth control, did you notice any difference in who you were attracted to?
I mean, no, not really, but I definitely did notice I would be more of a psycho when I was like
When you were on it?
off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I mean, isn't it only like 6 days out of the month that a woman can actually get pregnant?
Yeah.
So I mean, that was another reason that I went off it. I was like, it's just not worth the emotional like turmoil and all that. So
Right.
Yeah. How about you? Did you notice any difference on and off birth control?
I was on birth control for like 7 years straight. And so I didn't even realize the difference until I tried taking a few months break. Usually whenever I was in a relationship, that's when I get on birth control because then I'm consistently having sex.
Thank you, Brian.
And then, sorry, what was I talking
No,
about?
no, your changes when you're on or off birth control.
Yeah, no, I realized being off of it, how much crazier I felt trying to get back on it. And I took a break and decided to not go back.
Yep, copper IUD for the win. Yeah, they wrote that in the chat. I thought that was funny.
And I don't like things stuck inside me that freaks me out. So it's just.
So you're all natural.
How do you ever have sex? Oh, my bad. Forget it. I'm sorry.
Do you want me to answer?
No.
What
with
was
you.
crazy when I was on birth control, because I was on it since I was like 16 or something. I noticed by my 20s, I even got to a point where I didn't even want sex. My libido was so down. Like I didn't want it at all. I didn't care for it.
You're in the adult industry and you didn't
This
want
this is before the adult industry, and I noticed something, and so I just consciously am, a little bit into like homeopathic remedies, and I was like, I'm just going off. I tried every method, the pill, the ring, the fucking whatever, the copper, the IUD. I did everything, and I was like, I'm gonna go away with it. And after I got off it, my libido was
Back
through
to
the
where it
roof,
was.
and I guess I stumbled in the adult industry.
Stumbled. What am I doing here?
How did I end up here?
Just fell.
Whoops. There's one thing I want to ask about because this is coming up. I've tried to describe for people the madness of this, but it's hard for them to understand. The tryouts for the pools here. And one thing people don't understand is like what we do, generally the way it works is the pools fire everyone at the end of the pool season. The pool season here goes from the middle of March to the middle of October. About the third week of October is when the pools close. During that time, they let everyone go, and then they do a rehiring process that happens the first week of January. And you see a bunch of girls in here. They buy a bucket of clenbuterol, or not, and then they they get ripped as shit, and then they go do the tryouts, right? And then they lie about their bottle service experience when they used to work at the Rhino. Anyway, I'm just saying this because it's true. Anyway, so you've done this a few times, and you're one of the girls who gets hired. What percentage of the girls do you think get hired that try out?
Oh, man, I don't know. Probably, I mean, it depends. Most of the polls are only looking to hire like anywhere from like 27 to like 50 girls, depending on like what poll it is. So if you have like hundreds, sometimes even like, I don't know, what would you say? You do ball service too, right? Like 1,000 girls like showing up, like that's super low percentage. Like what, 10%? I don't know. I'm bad at math.
So the other part was I remember one year at Encore Beach Club, they hired back 38 girls and only hired 2 new girls.
Well, it was the same thing at Wet. Like at Wet Republic, I was one of the 3 girls that they hired. Everybody else had already worked there.
Yeah, so they hired 3 girls. Now, I've heard it's more than 8,000 girls that come out here for this. That are going to come. So they're going to do
all around.
The main tryout is going to be for Tau Hakkasan, which I believe is on the 3rd and the 4th, January 3rd and 4th. January 2nd and 3rd is going to be Resorts World. So that's IU.
What's a competition like that? Is there a lot of girls that want to get?
Yeah, it's like I said, it's like 8,000 girls. There used to be a line when you go. The Hakkasan competitions used to be at LAX, which is a club inside of Luxor, and there was a line down the street. And it was funny because club promoters would go out there and they would just like get girls' info because most of those girls were going to end up either working. They were going to either like a cocktail at a strip club, moving back home, becoming an atmosphere model, or becoming a stripper, or end up working at like some lesser club. That's essentially what happened. But those big 2, and then so the big 3 are going to be for the win. It's going to be for IU and Zook, and then the main one, the most properties is going to be Tau Hakkasan, and those are all going to happen the first week, maybe the second week. Then they get callbacks, and then they come again. But the answer is it's less than 1%. It's like less than what for the bottle server job. It's less than 1%. For bartenders, it's a higher percentage because you actually do have to have a pour card, and it is a skill set. Yeah. So fewer people can apply, and if you have and also men can be bartenders. So it's a greater number of them, a greater percentage of them. But as far as bottle servers, I believe the highest paid bottle servers on the planet are in Las Vegas. So this is the reason why every January there are thousands of girls that come out here. If you guys stand in front of Tao. On the 3rd of I'm giving out game right now. If you stand in front of Tao on the 3rd of January, you'll see literally 1,000 girls out there waiting. And then some of the girls, like I'm sure you probably don't have to wait in the same line. Like there is a VIP line for some of the girls.
This year, yeah, there is for a Tao group, yeah.
Yeah, there's a VIP line for some of the girls if you know one of the hosts or something like that. It's incredibly competitive. You have to do your interview in a bikini, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Like, I mean, not the actual like interview. So if you make it through the second round, then you're gonna be in normal clothes. But for the first round, it's basically a cattle call. Like you show up, you're in a bikini, you have this super bright ass light shining on you. You can't even see like the three, whoever's looking at you. And then they ask you to do a walk, and then they see your body. They ask you 3 questions, and you're done. You literally wait for like 5 hours just for like 2 minutes of the whole thing.
Yeah, the first interview is solely looks. Like it's a yes or a no. Does she have the look? And if you have it, you move on to the next one. If you don't, you're done. But it's wild too because you'll be there for hours, and half the people, I don't mean to say this, but half the girls that show up, it's almost like they're delusional. You know what the other bottle service girls look like. You know the work that they put in. It's a 24/7 year-round thing that you're doing. You're taking care of yourself. And some of these girls, it just makes it longer for everyone else. And you're like, what in your head makes you think that you could have this job when you see what the rest of the staff looks like?
What's the answer to that question? That is part of the part of one of the things we show on this show. Part of one of the things we talk about on this show, delusional. Sorry, guys, I'm on a hell of a lot of promethazine right now.
Hey, can I ask this? What's the look that they're looking for? So if you don't have the look, then it's like, thanks for playing. See, they're holding up the line.
No, they don't even say thanks for playing.
Them,
everyone tries out. They just don't call you back.
Yeah.
I think right now, I think the look has changed. I think it used to be the look was about being super skinny, but now at the clubs, I think it's about being skinny fit. And I think it's definitely like if you have an exotic look, you're going to get pushed right ahead. If you look different, it's really like lights and darks. If you have really light blonde hair, you're going to go through. If you have bright red hair, you're going to go through. If you have jet black hair, you're going to go through. But anything else that doesn't really fit that whole Maxim, Playboy, FHM look, Sports Illustrated, you just have absolutely no shot.
Can you be too over the top? Like, can you be like too much? Like,
absolutely, and that's what I think separates being a bottle server and then working at a strip club. And I have so many girls that are out of the strip club and stuff, but there's a definitive line of still maintaining like that model, almost like supermodel Victoria's Secret look, and then having that more so porn star look, and they'll be at the strip club. Yeah, so it's like this 50-50 toss-up. Yeah, and then there's all the girls that you're just like, oh my God, like you're just holding up the entire line, you know? So
why do you think they're doing that? The word delusional is going to come up a lot. We just had the delusional calculator. We're talking about how the type of men understand, why do these women believe what they believe? Why do they think that they're going to get that job? They went to Wet Republic. They saw the fucking girl. Do they see Emmy Zoop and they see all these fucking girls that are out there that are fucking perfect? Like Tori Lupo, I don't know how she is. She's fucking perfect.
Love Tori.
They see these girls and they're in perfect shape, right? They all look like they can squat 4 plates. What makes these girls that stand in that line think that they're going to get that job?
It's just being delusional. It's ignorance, and it's
Do you think they're entitled? They think, hey, they're gonna.
There's a thing that's causing
that there's like a quota or something for girls like them.
Yeah, I absolutely think that they're entitled, and I think that they also have men around them, beta males that gas them up and encourage them.
Where are these beta males coming from? Where are they interacting with these beta males?
Where?
Yeah.
Vegas
and strip clubs.
Clearly,
the strip club.
The whole social media thing again.
Correct.
Social media. So,
correct,
yeah,
Natty. That's exactly right. So what's happened is these women. What happens a lot of times with women is they go on IG and they'll sit there and post a photo, but they'll snatch their waist on Facetune, and then they'll make their face symmetrical and perfect on FaceApp. They'll look like 20 years younger, and in their mind, they believe the girl in that photo is going to the tryout. not them in the mirror.
Yes,
Do you understand?
exactly.
They will
Exactly.
literally go to Istanbul, Turkey, show a picture of them face apped, and tell the doctor, I want to look like this. Do you understand? And so that level of delusion, because the men, when those men give them that attention from a psychological standpoint, they're getting validation for the person in that photo, which is not them. And
Yeah.
that's why you're sitting there for 5 hours instead of what should be like an hour tryout.
Absolutely.
Because I can, honestly, I can tell you in 2 seconds if a girl's going to get a call back from Wet Republic. I guarantee you, if I walk by that whole line, I can tell you 100% of the time, you're getting a call back. You're not, you are, you're not. I can tell exactly. And so can you. I'm sure you can too from working there.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Yeah. Also, the other thing I want to comment on, when Hakkasan first opened, do you guys remember in 2013, half the waitresses were Asian.
Yes,
Yeah,
because that was
remember
the look that they were going
That was the look they were going
Yes,
through. There was also
absolutely.
I remember one year at fucking Encore Beach Club, all the girls had like the same high profile boob job. Like it was weird. You can tell that the guys who were doing the hiring, and all the girls at rehab and fucking what did they all have? Do you guys remember?
Tattoos.
All the girls at rehab had tattoos. You weren't getting hired at rehab unless you were fucking inked up. And same thing at like some of the girls at Dre's had tattoos too. But yeah, it was like every club had their own type of girl that they would do.
Yeah.
Whereas Wet Republic, it literally was IBFF Pro. Like that, they were looking for fucking monsters there at one point. So
I was gonna look. That was the reason I'm asking. Is there an over the top? Is there an extreme that will like knock you out of the running? Like,
Sure, like-
we're talking about the girls who like are never going to get there in the
Hey,
first place.
I love you, Elaine, but Nicolette Shea is not getting hired at Wet Republic. That's an example.
Nicolette, yeah.
I love you, Nicolette, but she's not getting hired at Wet Republic.
Let me throw this out there as sort of like something
Sure.
else to think about. You're on OnlyFans, correct?
Yes.
Is anybody else on OnlyFans?
I'm on OnlyFans.
You are so we got two that are on OnlyFans right now. You two are not on OnlyFans.
I have a fan club, but it's not
Yeah,
OnlyFans.
okay, yeah, okay.
But I'm also-
I'm
thing,
sure you
basically.
do.
I'm also on Pornhub. I'm on other
Okay, so
platforms.
the reason I'm bringing this up is because I think that perhaps it has something to do with the fact that guys, that you want to know where the guys who are encouraging these girls to go and do that. I think that there's a certain demographic of guys who see women on porn or on Pornhub on OnlyFans. And the top earners on OnlyFans don't look like the girls that are going and are the top, contestants or getting into these clubs. They're girls who are like, they're not like 10s, right? They're like 7.5s because they look attainable. And that's what I was saying.
Oh yeah,
It's
when
like
I managed a
they
strip
look-
club,
they look
the
as
girls
if
who
they-
made the most money were not the hottest girls.
Yeah,
it was just a cut
they
below
look
them.
as if they're approachable, like maybe I could get her. Like she's the girl next door kind of thing, as opposed to being over the top, which is why I asked you that
Yeah, but there's a
question.
difference between over the top and symmetrically perfect. Like when you go to some of the when a club first opens and they get their pick of the litter, like the first week Omnia opened, every girl who worked there was perfect. They had the girl like they were so perfect they were like the furniture. You didn't even notice them; they were so perfect. Like I noticed that's something that happens where you ask guys.
But is that the draw though? Because like with this sounds like
if you're dropping $100K for a table, yes, that is the draw.
So the draw is there are the hottest women on planet Earth are in this.
I believe the hottest women I've ever seen in my entire life, and I've been to the Playboy Mansion several times. The hottest women I've ever seen in my entire life are cocktail servers in Las Vegas.
Okay.
Yes.
So what I'm saying is this: so when you're on OnlyFans and guys are paying you small fortunes every month because they have that sort of girlfriend experience, so they want to feel like they have some sort of connection with you.
Sure.
There is no way those guys are going to go into that club and feel like they could possibly have a connection.
Oh
with the
no,
girls
this is
who are
absolutely true.
going
Yes.
in. So
Yeah, I've talked to this. I've had clients do this before. Like that, literally, I'll introduce them to like a cocktail server, and they don't remember meeting them because the girls are so far outside of their reality that they're like the girls are almost like furniture. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The girls
It's
are
like
so beautiful.
It's like going to the
These-
circus.
Yeah, these guys are like, very like socially awkward. They can't even think about going into a club, let alone a strip club. But, it's also OnlyFans is like a new market base of this social media people. So there is potential of, rich people. There's celebrities on there. They have fake aliases. So some of them could potentially be in the club.
So that what I'm saying is like the stand or the barrier to entry, I guess, to that venue right there is to the clubs, to Zook, to Wet Republic. I guess. Those are guys going to that because they think they're going to go there and meet the hottest women in the world and they're going to actually get laid with them or they're going to have some chance with those.
What are you talking about? Are we talking about
Is that
a
what
nightclub?
what I'm trying to suss out here is like what is the criteria for the women that are going to be accepted to be there? For that. I mean, maybe.
Hold
not
on, are we
look or
talking
whatever.
about atmosphere models, girls in the club, or are we talking about
I'm just saying, like,
cocktail
so,
servers?
like, why do guys go to those clubs in the first place?
I think it's a function of status and meeting beautiful women.
But do you think that they're going to do that? Does the average guy who's going there think he's going to have a chance with the top shelf, the elite level?
We just had
who were already choosing.
We just had two great comments on here. One of them says anything over an 8.5. It goes anything over an 8.5 or higher, mad waste of time for you gents. Another one said. It goes, guys always play the odds, waste of time dealing with a 10. No, most guys don't think that they have a chance with girls like that. That is not
the frame of reference thing we've been talking about.
It definitely is the frame of reference. Now, the thing is, I hear some girls. We had Tawny Jordan over the other day. Tawny Jordan's won several different pageants. She's the only woman to win the bikini competition at Rehab and Wet in the same year. And she's a world class ring girl. And she says guys don't even approach her. When she goes out, guys don't even approach her.
Dude, I get that a lot too. Yeah, it's like I don't know if men are afraid of me.
Of course they're afraid of you. I'm fucking afraid of you. I'm afraid of you now.
Intimidating.
We're friends and I'm fucking afraid of you.
Because you're beautiful.
Listen, I'm pretty sure I could beat you in a wrestling match, but I'm not completely sure. I'm not completely
Well,
sure.
that's also a function of scarcity too, because they're not used to being around.
Yeah, I think though too, when you compose yourself in a certain manner and you're very composed while you're out, I think that men don't really know what to do. Whereas the average female girl that's kind of more like not really composed, not caring about her reputation or what other people think about her, they're gonna be more approachable, and guys are gonna think it's easier to obviously go home with them. But a person like myself or anyone sitting at this table, like a man has to step up to be with us.
Oh yeah.
You have to bring a lot to the table. You can't just walk in here and expect to go home with me. There's a lot that comes with it.
Okay, you're correct, but you also heard those numbers we said at the beginning of the show.
You're right, yeah.
So it what ends up happening is you end up being with a guy who has a lot to bring to the table, but he also brings his other girls with him. That's the issue. It's like one of these situations where maybe it's not you guys specifically. I'm sure none of you have ever been cheated on. But sometimes there are dudes in the city who will literally be everything you ever wanted, and they're also talking to other girls at the same time while you're at work.
Yeah.
When I first moved here to Vegas, my first experience dating a guy in Vegas, I went on 2 dates with him, and each time he brought a different girl.
And what did you know that was going to happen, or was this like an openly bisexual thing?
No, I asked him to please not bring someone else if he was trying to pursue me.
Yeah.
If he wanted to get to know me, then I would like to spend time together on our own. And then he brought another girl, and the second time she tried to fight me. That was just a different.
Natty, you got to send me who it is. Just text me who it is. I got to know who this is. Is guy in Vegas?
Yeah.
You got to tell me who this is. That's incredible.
Actually,
I'm sure I know.
Yeah,
There's no chance I don't know who he is. Of course I know who he is.
So let me throw this because I'm looking at the chat here and I recognize you. Don't worry. So when we're talking about do you have trouble with guys? Do you think that guys are intimidated by you, like they're fearful to come and approach you, or do you think that they're just simply say, "She's out of my league. There's no way. Forget it. There's no point in me doing it." Like they're trying to cut their losses. Do you think there's a fear factor or an intimidation factor, or do you think that it's more like it's just they already shoot themselves in the foot, like they already self-defeat before they even attempt?
Yeah, I think it's a fear factor, absolutely, and I think that it's that most men nowadays don't have their shit together. So why would they approach someone like me that looks like they have everything together? I really feel like that's what it is. I feel like it's like men just don't want to step up.
Do you think that they're like limiting themselves from like approaching you or actually having some sort of like even just having a conversation with you?
Yeah.
Do you encounter this too?
No, I mean, yeah, I do. Like, it's funny because I've like dated guys who like they're you're a cocktail waitress, so you probably get hit on all the time at work. I'm like, I actually don't. Like, even my own like clients there just don't. They're like, bring me girls. Like, they'll like talk and flirt a little bit, but nothing crazy. So, but as far as like that, I mean, I've had like guys come up and literally just say, "I'm not hitting on you. I'm just letting you know that I think you're very beautiful," and walk away. I'm like, okay, like
Thank
so
you for the
I've
compliment.
So they'll make it very clear I'm not hitting on you. So I don't know what that's about. Like,
yeah, they in person it's hard for them.
What it's about is that they're hitting on you.
Okay. Well, I mean,
know, right?
They're hoping you'll go.
Yeah, they're hoping you go. Oh wait, no, come back. It's called.
It's
called. What's it called? Disqualification. Yeah, it's
anti-game.
It's anti-game.
Anti-game.
It's called a false disqualifier. Yeah, it's just game.
That's what's wild though. In person, they're all timid and afraid, but in your DMs, they all think they're a porn star.
Hey, I want to see Bobs and Vagine. I want to see Bobs and Vagine.
Behind the computer, they're wilding out. They'll say anything to you.
you want to do the sex? Do you want to do the sex? I want to see the bobs and vagine. Show me now.
Sex, yes.
I'll tell you.
Sex,
I'll tell you
yes.
That's why I come from a background of working in wine and spirits. So
Yeah.
I was a art director, principal creative for import export company, and so I would have to hire talent to come to promotional events and things like that. I was the guy that was actually picking out the girls, and then I had my select few that I knew were good for particular events. So if I was going to go do a show for like a Martini Fest or higher end, there were certain girls I would bring in for that because I knew they were approachable, and I knew that it was more than just like, I'm going to pour drinks for you. It was also having that kind of slightly flirty conversation with the people who were there, right? If I'm going to like a goth bar or something, like if you're going to a rock club, that's a different caliber of poor girl that you're going to have to be there. And so what I was noticing at these events is I found myself choosing the girls who had the personality factor that was sort of like made them approachable. Like they were good conversationalists. I knew they weren't going to get drunk while they were there too. But there's not just the beauty factor. It's like the girls could be so exceptionally attractive that they would be intimidating for the guys to even come up to whatever booth that we had for whatever drinks we were pouring. And so we would tended to pour less on those if the girls seemed like they were too over the top and they were too extreme. Was opposed to like you get a girl who's like an 8.5, like I'm in, on the 10 scale, and she could carry on a conversation. Then we would do way better with on that event as a result.
I'll tell you, as a manager at a strip club, one of the things I noticed, I couldn't believe, because girls would tell me how much they'd make because they'd tip out or whatever, and I couldn't believe, like it was never the hottest girls. The hottest girls were always super frustrated. They were always, and the guys were always like, I know I don't have any shot with this girl. And the girl who was like one rung down, who really knew how to make the guy think that he had a shot without acting slutty. Like acting super slutty in a strip club is actually a really short-term strategy, and it doesn't work super well. It's like keeping the chase going. And what were you gonna say?
I'm a professional at that. Yeah, it's all hustle. It's all psychological too.
Yeah. So what those girls ended up making the most money. They were the ones that, and that, like you were saying before, like to the level that's unattainable. I know you guys from events that I threw. I went on your podcast, but I know you guys mainly through events that I threw. I can tell you, like Jordan, you would be intimidating for most guys to go up and talk to. You have these big fucking bright blue eyes, and you're built like a goddamn linebacker. Like you big old fake boobs, and you're built like you look like you kick somebody's ass. I'm saying this in a good way, in a Vegas bottle server kind of way. That's why I'm saying, right? And so that's the thing. Like it's kind of hard. And then the other thing, you were at my birthday last year. Remember how madness it was? It was like 50 of us. Then Bilzerian showed up and all that kind of stuff. Nobody was coming up to our table. You remember that? Like nobody was coming anywhere near us. Like they were intimidated by us.
Yeah. I mean, until Dan got there. And then,
I invited Dan. Yeah.
Well, until he got there, then there was
sucks
like
all the oxygen out of
the room.
Do you remember that one dude throwing water on him? And then he threw Bilzerian takes the drink and he throws it up into the balcony. You remember that shit? That shit was crazy. That was a fucking crazy night, man. Shout out to Jason Strauss, man. He set that all up.
Anyways, I'm watching the chat here. It's like everyone says it's not about fear. It's not about intimidation. They just don't think they have any shot with a top shelf girl, so they simply just don't do it. So it's like it's easy to characterize it in that sense because it's like then suddenly you seem brave, right? Well, I know better than to bother with that, so I'm just gonna I can't get with the 9s, so I'll stay with the 7s kind of thing. And so it's league mentality is what I've written about it in the past. But for instance, like I met you as soon as you walked in, you're the first one to come in here, Jordan. And so like as soon as I'm talking to you, like I'm used to this because I have poor girl. I worked in the industry, right? But like we also have music in common, right? So we have like some sort of thing to talk about and everything.
Yeah.
It's not like so seriously. It's not intimidation as far as like the conversational side of things. I think it's the guys who just simply they live in the scarcity mindset where it's like maybe if they had taken that shot, maybe if they had actually stopped believing in this league mentality, then they would be having these conversations. They might get a little bit further than they think they can.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really crazy. How many of you guys have been to one of my events? You haven't been to one yet. You never been to Babes?
No, I haven't. No, I haven't been to that one. But I feel like I've met you at an event. I don't know if that was like your event though. I don't remember. It's been a while.
You've been to Babes?
Yeah.
Okay. You've been to Babes? Okay, so you guys been to Babes in Toyland. I have found that like a charity event or something like that, soup kitchen, of any kind of volunteer work is the easiest way to meet a girl who's out of your league, and there's no intimidation with talking to them. I think if you guys want to know, this is one of the key tenets we teach in Men of Action, is the idea in the event planning pillar, which is the 7th pillar, I think, of the program. when in that part, we go over exactly how to create these events that give value. Now, if I were like, hey guys, you want to go do a comp dinner at STK? The four of you have been like, fuck that. I've done comp dinners why do I need you? You fucking loser, cheap motherfucker. It's like, hey, I can get you on stage at XS. Steffi would just be like, get the fuck out of here. Get on stage at XS. I don't need to get Marshmallow just wrote me last night, bitch. I don't need you to get me on stage at XS because you guys live here, right? You understand when girls come and visit, I'm like, do you want to go on stage at Zook? They're like, fuck yes. But you guys would have no problem getting on stage at Zook. It wouldn't be any problem with you at all. And then, so that's not those kind of things. The promoter thing, incredible book. I highly recommend all of you read it. It's called Very Important People by Ashley Mears. She's a professor of sociology, or she's a doctorate of sociology, and she went undercover as a model for 2 years in New York, just going to nightclubs every night. And she wrote exactly how everything worked. And there was stuff I didn't even know. Jason Strauss is mentioned often in the book. There are 2 Harvard case studies on Jason Strauss. I don't know if you know this.
I know.
There's 2 Harvard case studies on him, and I'm reading them right now. He goes and speaks at Harvard regularly. He and Noah Tepperberg. And so this is a really, really awesome book. I don't agree with the interpretation, but the documentation is fantastic. And when you see this, the way that the people live, it's just very different. It's hard for a lot of people outside this realm to understand when there's a table full of atmosphere models. You know, you've atmosphere before, right?
Yeah.
Guys are looking at that and they're like, what is happening? Like, how are there this many beautiful women there? And then who's paying for it? And then they're like, this same thing happens for me. Every year for my birthday, it's at least like 50 girls. They'll come dressed in like a themed outfit. And guys are looking at us from other tables and they're like, is he a pimp? Like, what's happening there? I don't understand. They'll come and tap me on the shoulder like, hey man, what's going on? And they ask me these weird questions. I'm like, no, it's just my birthday and they want to hang out with me because I guess I'm not fucking weird like you. I don't know what happens. I don't have a bunch of pictures of my fucking creepy ass, whatever on my Instagram. I guess that's maybe why. But that's the thing that I found out. The events are what I found to be the key, the easiest way to find some level of common ground without the cold approach, because it's very difficult for a lot of people to be able to do that. Anyway, that's why I planned this whole program around events, because it made it a lot easier. This is why I would consider an event. The 6 of us hanging out here, and you're drinking all that tequila. And no, wait, I'm just kidding. You guys are doing cocaine in the back. This is kind of fun
meal
kind of
prep.
event.
She's not drinking tonight.
No, she's getting this one's getting piss tested, so she's not doing anything. This one's getting piss tested.
I'll tell you, it's funny is that every time I used to think this way. I'm watching you guys in the chat. Trust me, I hear you. But like I used to think in terms of like
there are 1,000 people watching us live in the chat right now, guys. Yeah.
I was
Nice.
I sometimes I'll go to like Miami, or I'll go to like I'll go to Fort Lauderdale, and we'll be walking from a set to set, and beautiful yachts are like everywhere, like these beautiful boats are everywhere, and I would be sitting there and I'd be like, how do these guys afford these fucking yachts? I mean, they're just multi-million. There's, as far as the eye can see, but somebody does. Somebody owns that yacht. Somebody's paying for that slip. Somebody is paying for that actual, whether or not they're taking it out, often who even knows. But somebody owns that yacht. And so I was thinking about this in terms of this limiting buffer mentality. It kind of applies to a lot of other things as well, like approaching a beautiful woman. Like somebody's got to be with you guys. Who's it going to be, right? Is it going to be you, or is it going to be somebody who actually just took the chance to actually come and talk to you because they got over this, this scarcity mentality to do so?
Yeah. The other thing, and I loved, I've heard several people talk about this, is the rich guys who have no game whatsoever in it, and it's like this idea that just being rich is enough.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
right. That's also I'm sure you can talk about this often, where there's super wealthy guys. What's the highest men you've ever been about? What's the highest men you've ever done?
Like what they.
What's the highest spend that you've ever had? You personally?
Me personally, I don't know. Probably around recently, maybe 60K.
60K.
Yeah.
You've had have you had 100K at Wet? Was there any 100Ks at Wet the whole summer?
Oh yeah, not with me, but with our girls who are fucking monsters. Yeah, easily every Saturday for sure.
There's one or two 100K.
Yep.
I went to Houston last week and they were like complaining.
Explain to the audience what that is.
$1,500 for a table. It's like it's $100,000 for a table.
Yes.
Go ahead. What is that like?
Buying a house.
What is the experience like for this guy who's spending $100,000 at a table?
Honestly, those girls are on another level. I don't know what they probably just.
You're talking about with upsells. The girls are upselling them to 100K.
Yeah.
What is the guy's experience like? How would you describe it?
They're having a blast. Yeah. Every time we go over there, they're having presentations. Have a ton of girls getting champagne showers. They're having a fucking blast over there. And the thing is too, they know that they're spending this, like, you know, and we're also like really good with like making sure that, you know, with signatures and everything. So, but yeah, I mean, they know what they're doing, and then they're having like the whole time, like we're up there, we're hanging out, and you know, I mean, at Marquee it's a little different because we're allowed to actually drink with them, and but at Wet, like we're not allowed to drink.
It's because Marquee's not union. Is that right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, Wet is union.
Okay, so and the other thing I was going to say is like, so we were always in Bungalow 1, where I was hosting the Playboy Yandy Summer Search at Wet Republic all summer.
Yeah.
So I'd come in there Fridays, and Steph would be working some of those Fridays. I would have Bungalow 1. Bungalows 3, 4, and 5 would always be big spenders in there, and I would take those guys and make them judges in the bikini competition. That was one of the that was every
I had
week.
no idea.
So whoever the host manager was would tell me who it is. And I was like, yeah, for sure, we'll bring them in, and then we'll make them judges in the bikini competition. We would do that also as part of the experience. But yeah, dude, they're dumping bottles of champagne on each other. They're not even drinking all the alcohol. It's not really possible to drink all the alcohol. One of the reasons why atmosphere models were created was just so that they could drink the excess alcohol so that the guys would buy more champagne. There's some girls I know that are like they specialize in getting guys to buy more champagne. Like that's their only purpose when they go there is to do that. It's crazy.
How many girls are there on a shift, like at one night? How many?
I mean, at Wet, like, I mean, because I'm at Omnia now too. At Omnia, there's probably like, I don't know, like 40 something. And then at Wet, there was only like 29 of us. But it depends on like the day too. If it's like a slower day, then there will probably be like, I don't know, like 19 or 20 of us. And then they'll like cut girls. But usually on a full day Saturday, there's 29.
And they cut you by seniority too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they draw for seniority every year. Actually, but you at Omnia, and that's 12 months a year.
Yeah.
So seniority is set for the top girls there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. Seniority gets reset every year at the pools, but not at the nightclubs.
So you can age out.
Yeah. That's a whole nother thing because they're model. What is the description for it? It's model
server.
Yeah. Cocktail
model
server.
cocktail servers, and so they actually can weigh you, right?
You need a pour card for that too, right?
Can't go 5 pounds over.
So they can't. They have to weigh you, just like in the NFL. If you go overweight in the NFL, the NBA, they can fine you. The same thing. They can fine girls for being overweight. You guys wonder why I live in Las Vegas? They can fine. They can fine girls for being overweight as a model cocktail server. Yes.
And it's the fastest way to fire a girl that they don't want on the staff.
Yeah.
So say one girl's slipping, she's just not really doing her stuff. Boom, out comes the scale. Put her on the scale, immediately fired. It's crazy. It's the fastest way to get rid of them. It's weird though too when you do have those big spenders because they're very peculiar, some of them, with what type of girl they want. So they may latch on to one girl, or this guy only likes brunettes, so he only wants brunettes in the cabana, or he only likes blondes, so then he has just a bunch of blonde girls. You really have to customize their experience to what they want. And I think it's even further than that. Like the clients and stuff I've had, then you have to get yourself and then 3 other girls, you got to go out to dinner with them after because you want them to come back and spend the same amount of money the next day. It's almost like this whole entire experience that you have to give them for this one weekend when they come in.
It is crazy.
Wow.
I've seen. Here's another thing that's nuts. So a girl will do Friday and Saturday at Hakkasan, and then on Sunday they'll go to XS. And so let's say they're at Hakkasan. The Hakkasan bosses will tell them, "No, you're going with that client to fucking XS."
Yep.
Like they will not leave. They will not let the client out of the cocktail server's site the next night because the guy spent so much money.
Right.
I've seen girls get off.
It's like a casino host.
Is it Mandy Olson? I can't remember one time. I think she got off on a Saturday to follow a client to another club to make sure that the guy came back or something like that.
Yeah.
It was crazy the kind of because of how much money these guys were spending. It was nuts. But often you'll see them go to one club and then a different club, and that's a lot of the reason why like Tao Hakkasan will have multiple clubs because they'll want them at Omnia one night and at Hakkasan the next night, at Wet Republic on Friday, and then go to Tao Beach on Saturday. Is that's part of the reason why they do that. But for a lot of people, it's really hard to explain to them because atmosphere modeling, it doesn't exist in other cities. There's a word for it, but it's not the same thing. Girls will sit there and get paid $100 an hour just to sit at a guy's table. That does not exist in other cities. And in fact, it didn't exist in this city until 2013 when somebody came up with the idea to do it. And then afterwards, it just kind of took over everything. Yeah, it's really interesting. All right, cool.
Now, you're in a relationship.
Yes.
And you...
Single.
Single? You're just single?
I just got out of one. I'm
You're
right
single.
back in one now. So
And you
Is it a
are
different one?
I got swooped up
sort
real
of in a
quick. Yep.
relationship. It's complicated.
Complicated.
Okay.
No, it's
And-
Really? You was that long? There's a bunch of disappointed motherfuckers in the chat right now. What was the time from the last time you were with your ex to the first time you were with the new dude? How long was that? I've seen 10 hours before. I have
maybe
seen
like, I would say like a month.
a month. Was this guy waiting in the wings? Did you know who he was while you were with your ex?
It's warm. He's in the bullpen.
Somewhat, yeah. He was after me for sure.
Did you find him attractive at all? Or did you just not notice him and then you noticed him once you were single?
No, I found him attractive.
The whole
for
time
sure.
you found him attractive? Was he your type or do you have a specific type?
Due to what my last relationship was like, I feel like he's different.
You were
than what the last one
overcompensating.
was
You were
like.
compensating in the opposite direction because of what your last relationship was like.
Yes.
I've definitely been there before.
Did you
Yeah.
did you meet him at the club?
No, I had a mutual friend.
So it was through friends.
MOAmentoring.com. MOAmentoring.com. She met him through a friend. MOAmentoring.com. Sign up
Which
now.
made it feel safe. I probably would have been alone for a very long time after what I just went through, but due to who the friend was and the way we were introduced, it was a safe.
Did you have any kind of like previous relationship with him, like a friendship with him before?
Nope,
you guys?
nothing.
So it was just like, okay, this guy's next.
Nope, nothing.
Did he approach you? Was it like, remember what we were just talking a moment ago?
Yeah.
Like guys get intimidated. How did he approach you? Did he go, oh, you're single now? Hey, is that how it worked out?
No,
or is it
super
just-
cool, super smooth,
She don't want to say.
super
She didn't
smooth.
want to stay. No. But he didn't like. Did he just slide into your DMs or something, or did he actually like say like meet you through a friend and like talk to you, and then it went from there?
Yeah, no, the friend tried connecting us, and then he slid into my DMs, and then he asked me on a date like a proper gentleman, because nowadays for some reason guys don't think that they have to ask you out on a date
Right.
That's where
and
I was
take you out.
That's where I was
Wait,
going
I thought.
next.
Hold on.
Yeah.
I thought we were just going to after hours at Dre's and getting fucked up. What do you mean?
No.
Yeah.
I have to go on a date with you? What the
Men
fuck is
think
this?
it's-
Well, I thought we're all going to Mas por favor on Tuesday and just getting fucked up. I thought that's what we're doing.
I have to follow
We
protocol.
have to follow protocol. I have to take you on a date. What the fuck is this? I didn't know it was like that. I thought
Stuff
we.
like ask me to be your girlfriend too. We're like, don't just assume we're together. Like
oh, you-
ask me to be your
Yeah.
girlfriend.
I thought,
Right.
Absolutely.
I have a five bottle comp at fucking XS on Sunday night. I thought that's what we're doing. That was our date. I thought that's what. See how the girls are laughing because it's so fucking true.
Yeah.
It is exact. It is so true that's how it works here. We don't. You're right. I'm not. I agree with you. I prefer dating, but it's like I see so many couples that get together in the city because it was just like Tuesday we're at Omnia and Wednesday they went to EBC and Thursday went to Hakkasan or they went to fucking Zook and then Friday like they bumped into each other Sunday at XS and they would just bump each other or they'd be out at Lake Las Vegas or we'd all be at Jing on Monday with fucking OJ Simpson or something like that and we'd all just like we'd just all be in the same circle and the next thing you know you're hooking up with somebody and there was no date. You know what I'm saying?
Are any of you now? Well, probably not now. But have you ever been on Tinder? Used a dating app? Any of
Never.
you ever used a
I
dating app? Like
made a
Hinge,
Tinder.
Bumble, Tinder.
But I was banned from it right after I
Really?
made it.
Because you were
Yeah.
trying to get were you trying to get people to follow you?
No.
So a lot of times the girls get banned because they're trying to get people to come
Oh
on
no,
their
no!
IG.
This
or-
is like 4 or 5 years ago when it first came out. I was
Yeah.
like, I would love to meet someone.
Yeah.
I don't have time. I work so much. Let me do this. I get the app, and then people were actually really mean to me on it, and I ended up getting banned within like the first.
Because you were
3 months.
like fighting with them on the app.
No, a
Or-
lot of people kept being mean to me, saying that I was fake, and they're like, "Yeah, right," as if you're on an app to find a boyfriend, and like all these things, and I was.
Oh, they thought you were
Yeah,
catfishing.
so-
Yeah.
so-
Yeah, no one thinks I'm real,
Jer-
but other people have Tinders with my picture.
Hey, listen. So in general, I want to let the guys know when you see women this attractive on Tinder, it's one of two things. It's either a fake, a profile, basically.
catfish.
It's not a catfish thing. They're trying to. They're like, oh yeah, come here, and then it's a link that leads to their OnlyFans.
Yeah.
That's usually what it is.
She does it.
So you see why
she
she's
knows.
laughing.
She
So when
knows.
you see super attractive women on those dating apps, there was a point when Tinder, Bumble, and Hinge first started where there was an asymmetry and you could actually meet attractive women on there. That point is completely fucking over now. If it's almost like, do you watch football, right?
Oh, yeah.
You know T.Y. Hilton just signed with the Cowboys?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
T.Y. Hilton, doesn't matter, guys. Just I want you to imagine this. After week 12, they signed T.Y. Hilton. Does that tell you T.Y. Hilton's healthy and everybody wanted him?
Yeah.
Or that there's some damaged
Yes.
goods there? Right, there's damaged goods. T.Y. Hilton is signing with the Cowboys because he's not that good anymore, right? The guy was a Pro Bowler and he's probably
They're
been
hoping
hurt.
they're hoping it'll be okay
They're hoping
next
it'll be
season.
okay,
Yeah.
right? This is what happens when you see a girl who's like that, who looks like that, who's on Tinder. There's something wrong. Something smells funny. Normal, really attractive girls do not spend a ton of time. I'm not saying there isn't a 1% exception, but for me, when I'm on there, I'm just like, no. No. and you can tell real quick. And then when I see girls that I know that are on there, I already see that they're fucking like they're catfishing to try to not catfishing, but they're trying to hook guys into a funnel so they can come back to their OnlyFans.
It's a great funnel.
Well, it's like my good friend.
And you'll get banned for that if they figure that shit out too. But
I don't do that. I don't even interact. They just come over to my Instagram, and then when they try to talk to me, I hit them with the.
As my good friend Jason Hartman would say, Instagram is funnel marketing for women.
Yes.
Basically what it is.
Absolutely.
So have you ever been on Tinder?
No.
Have you?
I had. So I was like when it first came out, and then I stopped because it was like very adamant that these guys just want to fuck.
I don't even need to ask, but Jordan, have you ever been on Tinder?
Nah,
I would not think that
natural.
You would be.
Yeah.
Wait, guys on Tinder just want to fuck? That's crazy. Where did you get that idea?
Well, the reason I'm asking is because
Shut up.
the number one way for men and women to meet and link up, hook up, whatever, like form a relationship sometimes, is through online apps, is through Tinder, Hinge, Bumble.
Well, I mean, it's more through Instagram, but yeah.
But the reason why I wanted to ask you guys this is because like you are at the elite level of going to clubs and being, you are paid to be beautiful, essentially is what you are, and you're not on these apps, but the vast majority of women who are sort of the average woman is on these apps, and I think that a lot of guys say, "Oh, well, that's just what they're doing. That's how we meet today." It's like in the music industry, how do you become a rock star? You go on The Voice, you go on like America's Got Talent, and they find you and you get a record contract. It's the same thing. It's like, well, how do you get laid these days? Oh, you go on Tinder, right, and you find your girlfriend because that's how we do things today. But I also wanted to point this out. I was trying to highlight this because women such as yourselves are not on Tinder. And if you see someone who is using your photo, it's probably a catfish or it's probably a funnel to get you to go to the OnlyFans.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But I do have girlfriends that they use it and they do legitimately meet guys. And I think they're crazy.
Yeah, for sure. I just feel like there's like once we get to Instagram, something went wrong. I mean, I'm sorry. Once we get to Tinder, Bumble, or Hinge, something went wrong. Yeah. Something somewhere went wrong for us to be at this place. I'm just the majority of the time.
I agree.
I think it was like, Instagram or social media was one thing, and now Tinder and these other apps, it was like official that guys were like, oh, great. Now I can really invite myself to try to fuck you.
Yeah, it's industrialized. They spam. They will spam. Spam approaches. They will spam. Introductions or likes on you.
Yeah.
And it's, essentially, they'll build machines that will just swipe through everything. I think what else is interesting is that we've kind of moved from the old style of like writing a dating profile like on Match.com or like Plenty of Fish.
eHarmony.
eHarmony. Like it was like, okay, I like long walks on the beach and I like coffee and I like rainbows in Disneyland, and all this other stuff. And then you like these really insightful things. This is what I'm about and this is what I'm looking for in a guy. Now we have gotten to the point where it's no. Yeah, and that all it is about
like
the visual.
Descriptions are like even so low.
Yeah, exactly. It's all it is he hot? Is he worth my while? Am I going to swipe on him or not?
On those dating apps, Tinder, Bumble, and Hinge, what percentage of men do you think women deem unattractive? What percentage?
I would say like probably 80.
I was gonna say,
girl, that's what I was gonna say.
80, I was gonna say 80%.
The correct answer is 80%.
Yeah,
correct.
There you
Don't
go.
want to hurt anyone.
Guys, I want you to listen to what I said. 33% of men having zero sexual partners between the ages of 18 and 30. 80% of men deemed unattractive on social media. Think about it. Like, super fun to be a man, isn't it? Yeah, fuck yeah, it's super fun. And then you guys are like, oh, this guy's a piece of shit who cheated on me. You're like, no, that's not most men. That it really isn't most men. Most men you guys would never give a fucking shot to. That's what happens. You would step on their balls and then make them give you money. That's what you would do.
Is that what you do?
Well, I mean, not fully necessarily, but it's only if they consensually want it. I'm a financial domination. I'm not like or dominatrix. I'm not like a femdom.
Write me bad checks. Is that what it is?
No.
Going to debt for me.
I do. They do consensually want me to drain their credit cards, their bank accounts.
Really?
Yeah, I do. So I kind of fell into this like weird little niche where I used to do live sessions like with the actual guys, and I've turned it into virtual sessions. So I do virtual dates and virtual shopping.
Wow.
And they love it. And they buy my I've sold my used socks, shoes, leggings,
Bathwater.
and not bathwater. I mean, I haven't proposed that, but yeah, and I make them buy me high end, shoes, anything, clothes, lingerie.
About how many? Do you call them pay pigs? Is that what you call
They
them?
are my bitches.
How many do you have right now?
I have a solid like 5. But I also have, they all come in different shapes and forms because not all of them are super, super rich. But it's like, that 1% of men who they fall into this.
Why do you think they do it?
They do this because they are actually in their normal life. They are CEOs. They are alpha males in their business. And they have so much responsibility that people look up to them in their work life, right? So in their personal life, in their private life, they don't want to do that. They want to fucking let go and for a beautiful woman that in their work life, for anybody to insult them, humiliate them, talk shit to them, it would never happen. So for a beautiful woman to do that kind of turns them on.
So it's sort of a power play, a power reversal.
Yes, it is a power play, and it's very much a psychological thing. Because even unbeautiful women can do this too.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's like the top earners on Tinder or on OnlyFans tend to be like just approachable, like the girl next door. Like
Right.
I forget the girl's name, but she's making $100,000 a month right now, probably even more than that.
There's probably 50 girls I know making
that are at
$100,000
least
a month.
doing that. But no, was it Amaranth? Is that
She's making.
chick?
Well, she might be making.
But
She's probably making more than
she's
that.
not really.
Yeah.
She's not.
Yeah, I
Is she
know she
OnlyFans?
is.
She's a Twitch girl.
She's
for
a
while.
Twitch girl,
she's
yeah.
a Twitch girl.
And a lot of these guys, they're not even from OnlyFans. These guys can come from webcamming, seeking arrangements. Sometimes you could even get them from LinkedIn and Instagram chat, Snapchat. It's very much how you verbalize your bio. It's kind of like this imaginary code language that they know.
I think that's. I get this question a lot because people will say, "Well, why is it that OnlyFans is even a thing?" Because you can pornography is streaming free, 4K. You can go rub one out anytime you want to. But what is the appeal? I'll ask you that question. I have my own answer, but
I will say this as a person who came from mainstream porn. It was very different. We had agents that had to do our book us for shoots, right? And then there was our appearance, our persona. I couldn't dye my hair. If I started with brown hair, I had to stay with brown hair.
You just did a feeture at Little Darlings, and they had you in red hair on the screen, right?
Yeah, that was my red hair. I mean, that's kind of my brand now. But what I think a lot of girls need to understand is OnlyFans is really a game changer to the adult industry, where it kind of puts the performer in the power and not these agents, not the production companies. And then also too, because I'm a dom, porn is still a little misogyny. They would never, my agent would never book me for a dominant role, maybe more a submissive role, but you have the power to do whatever the fuck you want.
When you were in mainstream porn, how old are you now?
I'm 33.
33. So when did you start?
I started when I was 23.
23. So about 10 year span. Okay. So and then you just recently got into OnlyFans, or how long have you been doing OnlyFans?
No, so I started OnlyFans about 2016, I believe, kind of when it first started. And it was only because I was webcamming, and I actually did pregnant content, which is a huge moneymaker. And a lot of my cam guys were like, you should start an OnlyFans. And so I was like, okay. The difference between camming is the currency is in tokens, so that's 5 cents per token. So there's a whole
Did you have I hate to use the term digital pimp? Did you have somebody managing
No,
you
when
you were on the cam?
Absolutely not.
It was all you.
It was all me. So basically, I'm an entrepreneur. So what happened was when I was in porn, my agent started to book these sessions where we would do this camming. And for me, I'm a real smart, I'm a business person. So I was like, hold on, if I'm fucking camming in your office, where the fuck is this money going to? And why can't I do this at home? And then how can I do this so I can teach my girlfriends who aren't really down to do porn and this is something where they can be financially independent. Because I used to man in LA. Before I did the adult industry, I used to book go-go dancers at nightclubs. But you're talking about $100 for 4 hours, wearing nice outfits, working your fucking ass off, doing 20-minute sets on and then 20-minute breaks. So it's a lot for $100. And then, you know, you get into music festivals, so the rate's a little higher, like 200.
It's not even comparable.
It's not comparable. And then as you're working at the strip club, I still work at the strip club, but if you're like solely working at the strip club, that's long fucking hours. You're drinking, you know, you got to drink. And then especially in Vegas, I call Vegas like stripper Olympics. Like you're working till, like, you probably get in 8, 9 o'clock. You are working till 8, 9 in the morning.
12-hour shifts.
Yeah. So.
Well, so I was the conversation we just had is actually similar to what I had with Andrew Tate when OnlyFans started to become a big deal, because he was all about webcamming girls and all that, and he was, you know, trying to make the case that
Tristan was managing girls.
Yeah, and he was
OnlyFans.
managing,
Yeah.
and they were saying, you know, the girls who are the most successful, even on OnlyFans, are going to be the ones who have like a Tristan or an Andrew behind them. And I was like thinking, you know what? I was more apt to listen to, like, say, you know, this is sort of a game changer for women who might not ever have been into porn, or maybe they were married and she and her husband just want to have sex on camera, and now they can that's their side hustle, becomes their main hustle right now. So as a game changer. Now the question I was going to ask you is this: did you get into OnlyFans because you were aging out of the porn industry? Now, before you get offended, the reason why I'm saying this is because my good friend Sterling Cooper, who is in the industry,
Okay.
he was saying this, is that when women get into mainstream porn, they'll go for a little while, and they get to a point where they're right about 27 or 28, and then they get cycled out, or they age out of it, and then they can come back later on and do like MILF or mommy porn afterwards.
I have a statement for that. You can never age out of porn.
Yeah, you're probably right about
There is a theory, yes. So you do have a sweet spot of, theoretically, the woman,
19 to 40.
the performer's highlight of streaming of, you know, her porn career is solely 4 months. 4 months, you're going to get shot. You're going to work with all the production companies. And then after that, you're going to get cycled out. You already shot with everybody. So now new girls coming in, they're going to want you. But if you're smart, once you do porn, it's for life. You have people who are fans of your porn, your art, your erotic art. They are watching that every day. Young boys, they're coming into college.
Mia Khalifa was doing it less than 6 months, I believe, and she was the #1 porn star in the world. She was only doing it for less than 6 months, and I believe, what's her face, Lana Rhodes. It was also less than 8 months. She did porn for 8 months, and all of her content came in this.
They aren't lying.
Yeah.
That's really how it is. What ends up happening is, so for that production company, if it's Brazzers, Naughty America, Digital Playground, you're going to have your scene up there. And then what ends up happening is they shot so many girls, so then your scene that was new goes to the bottom. And then after, it's like, what do we do with this scene? Well, they're basically making residuals off, so they sell it to the tube sites. So then it's just filtering on the internet. But what's powerful is, you know, Pornhub and other sites, you got billions of people going to that site, you know, close to Google.
It's called affiliate marketing.
Yeah.
It's just affiliate marketing.
We're not benefiting
That's
off of
repurposing
that,
the
but
content, yeah.
that is why, you know, for us with social media, you know, we'll get deleted fucking 10 times, but once we go back, it doesn't matter. We have fans that they've jerked off to us many times, and they feel a connection.
Jay, have you ever been recognized outside of Las Vegas? Have you ever been recognized somewhere else?
I have, and it was a little weird.
It's still weird for me.
I will say that because I have a lot of fun going out, and I do like my privacy. So sometimes when people recognize me, it makes my guard up, because I'm like, whoa, you know, I make sure if I'm like with somebody, I don't ever want to be put in a situation where it's like, it's just myself.
For sure.
Yeah.
I have a question. This is always something that I wanted to know. So you just mentioned the current guy that you're dating now. Jordan, was introduced you to by a common friend.
Yes.
The previous boyfriend before that, how'd you meet him?
Oh, God.
What gig was it?
Yeah. Just through social media.
So Instagram?
Yes.
Okay. Where'd you meet your last boyfriend? The last dude you were dating?
Yosemite.
You were just out there hiking? You just bumped into him?
Damn.
Yeah.
Okay. And the boy
I meet people
saved
in
your life from a
person.
it's fine,
grizzly
it's
bear.
fine, it's fine. And the guy, but no one introduced you. There was no common friend.
Oh yeah, I have a common friend.
You had a common friend. Did you have the person before that you dated? How'd you meet them?
Who did I date before that? I haven't dated someone in a long time.
Okay. Well,
Okay. It was also through the same friend.
the same friend. Awesome.
Yeah.
Steph, how'd you meet the guy you're with now?
At what?
You guys work together.
Yeah.
So lots of common friends.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the guy before that, where'd you meet him?
Through a mutual friend,
Through a
and then
mutual
he
friend.
slid in through my DMs. Yeah, because he was living in LA. So then we were just friends the whole time. And
I
then
think I met him. I think I met the previous guy too one time.
Yeah.
And Domo, the last guy, the guy you're with or were with, where'd you meet him?
Through friends.
And then before that?
I've kind of always met my guys
Through friends. Okay,
yeah.
so your guy's
Through my
saying it wasn't through fucking day game cold approach at the mall? That isn't where you met your balanced boyfriend?
Or Tinder.
Really? It wasn't through day game cold approach at the mall. It was through a common fucking friend. MOAmentoring.com. MOAmentoring.com, you fucking...
So
oh my
true.
God, bro. It's so crazy. You guys wonder, like, why? So the thing is, that's what I'm known for is, like, I build social circles for people. And they always wonder where I came up with this or, like, this is some ancillary thing. And, like, no. Every girl that I talk to that's beautiful tells me the exact same thing that I knew what your answers were going to be. I knew it was all going to be either one of you was going to say Instagram and the rest of you were going to say fucking through a common friend. And they all these guys are like, no, dude, I do hardcore cold approach at girl. I just go up to random girls at the fucking mall. Like, it's just so crazy to me when I hear this shit and they sell products. They literally sell fucking products trying to teach guys that this is how they're going to meet women. And I've been telling them for fucking 15 years, this is utter nonsense. It doesn't work. Your percentages are so fucking low. I'm not saying you can't ever walk up to a girl. My point is, it's a lot better when your guys are at an event where you have common friends. There's this, like, sort of, like, as men, we don't need comfort to have sex. I'm not afraid if I had sex with anybody that they're going to fucking hurt me. Although there's a few times where they did. They're like, and I mean physically hurt
She'll
me.
drain your bank account.
Yeah, they're like, I'm not worried. I'm bigger than the.
Consensually. If you want it consensually.
I'm bigger than the women. I'm not worried. For women, you guys literally have comfort that you have to have. You need to feel a certain level of comfort towards a man before you have sex with him. Part of you doing that the first time has to do with common friends letting you know, hey, he's not that big of a fucking weirdo. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
Or
absolutely.
he's dated other girls. And guess what? They were also pretty, which means he's capable of dating a pretty girl, which means that he's probably going to be normal. Does that make sense? Right? For you guys, it makes sense. It is so crazy. Even in 2022, I still have this argument with dudes. They still think that no, what I teach is like nonsense. No, all these girls just said, the last 8 of them, 7 of them said, I met somebody through a common thing. Now, I do want to bring this up. Oh,
I got a point, but go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh.
I do want to bring this up.
Okay.
You were dating a coworker, and that's something we talk about frequently. How does that work?
I mean, so at the time I was actually with my ex.
Yeah.
So when I'm with somebody, I don't even look at anybody
So
else
when you
as
started
me.
at Wet, that first week when I
Yeah.
saw you at Wet, you were with your ex, and then
Yeah,
okay.
and then what happened was we just kind of like had a common. We both love music, and that's pretty much like we would talk about the whole time. It's like, hey, invite me to shows, like as a friend and stuff like that. And then eventually, when I got single, we always had great conversations, great chemistry, and then finally, I was like, you know what, I should give this guy a chance because I found out he liked me. So, and then that's pretty much what happened.
Wow, you just went out with him as friends. That's crazy. And when you guys were going out as friends, did he act like a friend, or was he constantly hitting on
No,
you?
he was very respectful. Very respectful.
MOAmentoring.com.
Oh, sad.
Now, I want to point one thing out here, though. So each one of you have said the last person that you've been with has been you met through friends. That's like exceptionally rare right now, because when you look at the stats, the number one way that men and women meet, of course, is online through Tinder, Hinge, Bumble, that kind of stuff. What's been on the decline is meeting your next boyfriend, maybe your husband, via the church, through your family, through your friends, through school, through work. All of that's been on the decline really since about 2010. And then the one thing that's been spiking, of course, has been online dating. All right.
Yeah.
So hear me out. I think here's a theory for you. Tell me if I'm wrong about this. the higher the level of attractiveness of the woman, the more likely it is that she will meet that guy through friends, as opposed to like the more average woman is going to be the one that is going to be on Tinder, that's going to make those hookups on there. Do you think that's
One more time?
Do you think that's plausible?
The average?
Well, so more elite level women, like let's just say very attractive women, don't meet men through. They meet them through friends. Clearly,
Exactly. Yeah, that's exactly my point.
Rather than the average woman who is statistically meeting the guys that they're with through Tinder. So
I don't think the average woman meets guys through Tinder. I really don't. I still think it's through normal.
I've got the stats.
You think the average girl? I think the average girl meets guys through social media, through
That's
through
true.
internet.
Yeah,
so when you count,
Instagram,
I think
social
if we were
media.
to count Facebook and Instagram
Facebook
together,
is the number one
it's
online dating.
10 times more than it would be Bumble, Tinder, and Hinge together. I think Instagram alone would be 10 times more. Just when you look at like none of those three dating apps have a billion active users. And Instagram has 2 billion. I don't think it's even close.
So let me clarify why am I making this theory here is because what I think is a lot of guys see those stats and they see that the average woman is meeting the average guy online. And so what I have found out is through like very attractive women say, well, he had the balls to come up and actually approach me. He had the balls to actually say, hey, well, let's go be friends, go see a show or something together. He actually, and that right now I think is like what's called playing to the meta, right? Everybody else is doing like Tinder and Hinge and Bumble, and it'd be so nice if a guy would just have the sack up and like ask me out on a date kind of thing. That becomes novel.
Yeah, most of the guys that I dated, I told them to fuck off so many times, but they were consistent. They were persistent. So I liked that. I was like, okay, I've told you to fuck off. You're still around. I'll give you a shot.
Yeah, it's like I always say, it's like when it comes to men, it's like if you want me, come and get me.
Right.
Like make it known.
Yeah.
That's some alpha shit. Like
Yeah.
if you want me, come and get
I was
me.
going to say that's the number one thing. I
Wait,
get
you
from-
saying that or he's saying that?
No,
No,
like,
she's
I'm
saying
saying
it.
like if he wants me,
for sure. You got to put in
make
some
it known.
effort, for
Put
sure.
some
Yeah.
effort.
Yeah, but there is still a minimum level of like height, physical attractiveness, like level of charisma that
100%.
he has to meet. This is one of the things because girls leave these fucking weird signals that really throw dudes off when they're like, yeah, I just care that he treats me well and it's okay if he has a dad bod. And then I look at who you date and I'm like, no, that linebacker you're dating doesn't have a dad bod. Like, you're
Thunder
saying,
down under.
You're saying shit that isn't true, and it's really frustrating for dudes. It's really frustrating. Do you understand how frustrating it is for men? I remember when I had Elizabeth Chevalier on here on my podcast, and she's telling me all these qualities of men that she wants to date, and then she talks about her ex, and he's like, yeah, he's a narcissist. I'm like, wait, you just told me the fucking qualities of the man you want to date, and the guy that you're dating is none of those things. And I was like, just stop for a second. Be a man listening to you right now. Do you understand how confusing this is and how fucking frustrating this is? Listening to you guys tell us what you want in a man and then going after fucking Chad from Thunder from Down Under. Do you understand the problem?
Okay.
Who fucking cheats you? I'm sorry, not actually Chad. Shout out to Chad. There's a dude, hold on. Sorry. There's a guy, no, hold on, stop. There's a guy, stop. There's a guy named Chad who works with Thunder from Down Under. I love you, man.
He's
I'm sorry, bro.
great.
He's a great guy.
really
He's a great
is
guy.
Chad.
I
I'm
love
sorry.
those
So
guys.
hold on. Sorry. In the manosphere, they say Chad Thundercock. Chad is like it's just a name for like a Karen. You know what a Karen is?
Yeah.
A Chad is just a good looking
yeah.
guy. Shout out to Chad. I like Chad. There is a guy named Chad who works with Thunder from Down Under. Yes.
Giga Chad.
Yes. It's Masha's ex. Yes, for sure. Okay, man. Sorry, my bad, Chad. As soon as I said it, came out of my mouth. Chad from
Well, I tell you, so like what you're saying about like
Chippendales.
how confusing this shit is like what happens then is like when you hear like very exceptionally attractive women say like, oh yeah, I'm into the dad bod, and you know damn well that they're really not into it. I think it was on our very first show we were sitting here and I was making this comparison. I was saying, what calendar sells the most? Is it the Thunder from Down Under calendar or Chippendales calendar, or is it the dad bod calendar? Which one outsells the other one when it really comes down to it? And the honest truth is it's going to be the hot guy and the hot fireman calendar is going to be what's going to outsell. So there is an arousal factor that I think that we kind of just have to clear the air and just like call bullshit, cut the shit kind of thing. But so when we're talking about like the dad bod thing, or we're talking about like, oh yeah, I'm really into a guy who's into puppy dogs and rainbows and he has to be funny and everything. There's that aspect where guys realize that, okay, maybe there's something to that, but for the most part, what they're seeing online is they're seeing like beautiful women getting with beautiful guys, right? So when I see a guy like Chris Williamson, for example, trying to explain away why women are really actually into the dad bod because he's a better bet for their children's future, and he's less likely to go cheat because he's not as attractive to other women, and so therefore they feel safer and comfortable with this guy because they know that not very many other women want to get with that guy, and so it's like dads versus cads, right? It's like, and so what gets me is like a guy who looks like Chris Williamson, who, by the way, if you ever see his site, it's like his main splash page is him with like a V taper, and he's like a 6-pack abs, looks like he's a bodybuilder kind of guy. He was on like a Paradise Island or Total Drama Island or whatever the fuck it was back in the day, and now he's got a podcast, and he has people on like Rob Henderson, like Dr. David Buss has been on his show. And I'm like, why are you promoting this shit? Because the guys already don't believe this stuff, but now you're buying into this and then making content developed because you have bought into this bullshit.
He's bought into the bullshit of not looks money status. Is that what you're saying?
No, he's bought into the bullshit that there's actually something to the attraction factor of a dad bod. And so we're going to try to force fit it into like evolutionary psychology to make it work.
We talked about this before. What ends up happening is if you were to get pregnant, your pair bonded partner would start to produce what's called prolactin, and he would get fatter because from an evolutionary standpoint, he's going to get less sleep. Evolution has selected for, he knows he's going to get less sleep, so he has to contract more fat. Does that make sense?
Caloric deficit.
He eats with you too.
Yeah, correct. And he eats with you. So that's what happens. What happens for women from an evolutionary standpoint, their ancestors would see that extra weight and be like, this is a man who's going to stay with me while we take care of the child for the first 3 years. And so what you feel is comfort towards him, not fucking attraction. You don't look at this fat, pasty dude and you're like, my vagina is wet because he's fucking fat and pasty. That is a lie. You feel comfort because you know this motherfucker is going to stay. That's what I'm saying. That was my whole problem, because what happens is you have these super hot girls saying, you know what, I really love the dad bod. And I'm a performance coach, and I'm sitting there trying to teach men to go to the gym. It's like, no, but that girl that FHM model you had on said she likes dad bods. And I'm like, dude, you're just fucking it up for all of us when you do this. But women will say that shit. And again, you can't ask the deer how to catch the deer, right?
Almost going to do something. I know where you're going to go. Go ahead.
I actually, dad bods, I mean, it's not that that's attractive to me. What's really attractive to me is humor. And the fact that they are comfortable with themselves, even though they know they ain't, they're not a Thunder Down Under guy. That's sexy to me. Like that's hot, that you can live within yourself, even if you're not super fit, and make me laugh.
So how old are you?
I'm 28.
28, 33.
33.
30.
30.
28.
Do you find that the guys that you're attracted to now, maybe your new boyfriend, are different than the guys you
were in your early 20s?
When you were in 23, let's just say.
To be honest, I feel like I had it right back in the day.
Really? Wow,
Yes.
what was different?
Because I feel as though you're more primal when you're younger.
So more alpha characteristics is what you were attracted to.
And then through experience and time, you get hurt, and then you want more of the comfort. But then at the end of the day, I don't know, the whole
You want to be primal again?
Yeah, you want to be primal again. When the whole ancestor thing that you're talking about. So I feel like back in the day when everything was primal, like, you'd see a man that was working, like men are hunter-gatherers and women, take care of things, stay at home. If I see a man that works hard and that's built, immediately, like my senses are going. Like if I see a man that works out, it's like my pussy's fucking wet. Yeah. But like if I see a man that, again, coming from what I was just with, that I thought I wanted, nothing. Like I literally went to the doctor because I thought something was wrong with me and that I never wanted to have sex. I never, felt
with
alive. No, exactly. Yeah. And so I'm thinking like, okay, something must be wrong with me. And then you meet the right person that does take care of themselves, that is more masculine, that is more alpha. You want to fuck all the time. So I think, it just depends. And I think that some women get convinced that they do want the beta, they do want the comfort, they don't want to get cheated on. They don't want a man where all the other women are giving him attention and trying to get with him. You know what I'm saying?
So you do admit that other women being attracted to him is an attraction trigger for you.
Hell yeah.
Be the guy that other men want to be and other women want to fuck.
Have you changed the men that you're attracted to since your early 20s to right now?
I think every person I've ever dated has been completely different. There's not really like a type.
Well, I feel like Natty's just on a journey. She's just been.
No, really, my whole life has just been a journey
feel like
of
it's just
figuring
been
out
one
what
journey.
I do
It
like.
started in Yosemite.
Seriously. Natty, you got to come back on. You got some stories. I have a feeling you got some fucking stories. Do you feel like the men that to your early 20s, just out of high school to now, do you feel like the men you're attracted to? Are you attracted to a different type of man now?
Physically, I would say they're all around, like, I have the same, like, physical attraction, like, that hasn't changed, but as far as, like, what I'm looking for personality-wise, it's completely different.
What's the difference?
So, like, back then, it was more of, like, I just want somebody to have fun with, who, like, I'm just mainly attracted to, want to have sex with all the time, but now I'm looking for somebody who, like, doesn't make me feel, like, it's kind of sad, but like doesn't make me feel like I'm hard to love, like I'm too much, like somebody who is very emotionally mature, can handle me like at my worst times.
Is that part of why? Does it? Because you understand. So a lot of guys, I would imagine the guy you're with, because you work with him, understands some of the things that you go through better than the average guy who might be like, oh, you're a cocktail server, you're around rich dudes all the time.
Oh, he's so secure, it's annoying.
Yeah. Okay. So that's you, and you've dealt with the opposite, where he couldn't
100%.
deal with it, right?
Yeah, my last ex was like, he was so unhappy that I got wet. He's like, really? So yeah, it's complete like night and day.
Yeah.
Completely.
Yeah, when a man's not proud of you,
Yeah.
and when they can't handle how much you're doing for yourself,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's the most unattractive thing.
Yeah.
100%.
There's that quote, and it says you either build with a busy man or you babysit a broke one.
Ooh.
And that's real ass shit.
Domo, have you changed?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I was in, like since high school and stuff, I was in a 7-year relationship before I got into the adult industry, and I had a hot model guy, and I was into those type of guys. Had a little bit of interesting situations that, he had some offers from rich men that I didn't think that I would ever.
Oh, time out. Before this goes on, have any of you, the three of you, had to deal with this before? Dudes on the down low? No?
With
You know-
what?
But I don't know
Guys
what that
go-
means.
Like secretly gay.
Oh, no.
I mean, maybe, honestly.
They were
I don't
openly
know.
gay.
They were openly gay that you dealt with. You never dealt with that before?
No.
Have you ever dealt with that?
Not openly, but I had suspicions about a couple.
Yeah, suspicions. Go ahead.
It was traumatizing.
Okay.
To find that. And so for me, and it was after like the second one that I was like, yo, I can't, especially in LA, But yeah, so I just, things change. And I think now as I'm a mother, like, finding a man who is stable with, financials, mentality, because, I mean, I'm pretty good at taking care of my daughter, but I need someone that knows how to handle that. And then also, I mean, hey, I need some taking care of after I take care of my daughter. So, yeah,
I used to go on when I lived in West Hollywood for like 2 years, and I used to go out with girls, and I would tell them straight up, guys, I'm not even kidding. I'd be like, hey, just to let you know, I've never been with a dude. I'm not gay. And the girls would be like, ha 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 ha, ha. And I'm like, no, seriously, I've never been with a dude. And they're like, what? It's like, I've never, because
Living in West Hollywood?
dude in West Hollywood, it was crazy. Dude, I will tell you what, I've never been served so quick at Chipotle in my entire life as when I lived in West Hollywood. I'd go to a bar and get a bunch of free drinks. But no, it was one of these situations, I was like straight up telling me, hey, just let you know, I've never been with a dude. So many girls there had been traumatized by this thing that had happened because so many dudes there were gay for pay or gay to try to get acting roles or whatever. And I was just like, I did not know how pervasive it was until I lived there. And then, and then the king of it, it's actually the most, it's not the most DL city I've ever seen is Atlanta. There were so many women that I would meet that were dating African American men who were down low homosexual.
Undercover brothers.
Yeah, undercover. There was so much of that going on in Atlanta. It was crazy. They made a movie, Moonlight. That movie, Moonlight, was about that shit. Yeah, that's essentially what happened. So you just don't know. Listen, I'm not trying to denigrate anybody for their sexual preferences, but you should tell the truth. You know what I'm saying? That's why. Do you remember? That's why August Ames killed herself. Did you remember the situation with August Ames?
Well, August Ames, in her defense.
No, I am in her defense.
Yeah, because I will say that. So the reason that she killed herself,
she was
the reason
bullied,
that she got harassed,
she was bullied on Twitter.
So she turned down this guy because when you get booked for a shoot or a scene with this guy, you have like a week to find this guy. So what you want to do is you want to do your research. Who did he shoot with and whichever. The problem is that the gay porn industry is separate from the hetero industry. So she caught on to this performer and nothing. She just said, I personally do not want to do this scene because I found that this guy did gay for pay. It's her body, it's her choice. And then everybody slammed her, and even some legitimate like porn stars, like female porn stars, were attacking her, saying she was homophobic.
Jessica Drake called her homophobic. Like Jessica Drake produces. Jessica Drake gets to choose every single performer she works with. Like August Ames was 19 at the time.
Yeah.
20. She didn't get to check shit, and because she said I don't want to have sex with a guy who's doing gay porn, then they told her to fucking kill herself.
And she was married.
She killed herself.
Yes.
She went. It was the same night in December of that huge forest fire. She goes into the forest and fucking hangs herself. And it was crazy to me. Like afterwards, and I was like, dude, she has every right to know. Because that's the thing. At some point, I understand that people are going to call me bigoted because I want to know if a woman that I meet was always a woon. Guys, those surgeries are getting better and better every year. I don't know if you notice. I feel like I deserve to know if you have a Y chromosome. That's my right to know. I'm not homophobic. I just feel like I have the right to know. If you want to take that right away from me, I don't think that makes me fucking bigoted to want to know that. When she says that shit, I remember being so angry. I was like, I cannot believe they would bully her like that to where she fucking killed herself. That part was crazy.
Oh.
And this is again why OnlyFans is powerful for females to be in control, because you couldn't even voice this type of stuff, and it was really fucked up for her.
Do you have a tough time finding guys who want to like be in a long-term relationship with you? Like you were just
I was going to get to this question. Yeah,
I want to know. Like, first of all, do you? The general question is this: do you plan to be married? Do you want to be married? Do you want to have like a long-term, like have a family life or something? Well, you've already got a kid, so
yeah.
Like you're just saying, I'm looking for a guy who's like in it for the long haul. I'm looking for long-term security. I'm looking for a guy who's like good with my daughter, but also knows how to lay down the D, I guess. But like you're looking for somebody who has. That's why I asked this question. Is like,
and I maybe
has your criteria changed now as opposed to when you were 23? And at this stage, like, are you looking for something that's more long-term?
I may be crazy, but I don't ever want to get married.
But you're still looking for a guy you want to be in a long-term relationship with who's got that?
Sure. Reason why I don't want to be married is a lot of my regulars and customers are married men, so I see that side of things. But then also it's the financial. So if I don't like a guy now, I can leave him, and no harm, no foul, right? But if I have to financially pay for a divorce, like fuck that. And also, the financials, blending the financials
so money wise.
Yeah.
Do you want to get married?
Yeah, I want to be wifed up.
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. Do you feel that, rightfully or wrongfully, that the way you are judged on social media is going to affect your ability to get married in the future?
Ooh, that's a very good question. Not for the right person.
Okay, you think the right person would just look past that?
Yes, because I think that what I put off on social media is very surface level. So someone who's trying to get to know me will have a completely different version of myself. If
you got married and your husband was loaded, wanted to take care of you completely, and asked you to stop posting pictures in bikinis on Instagram, would you stop doing it?
In a fucking heartbeat.
Beautiful. Okay, awesome.
Wow.
Natty, what do you think?
That's a different answer.
I would.
Don't
Yeah.
tell me what to do. What?
So you wouldn't if you met a guy, he was loaded, he wanted you to not be on IG, you wouldn't stop being on IG?
If you met your ideal guy.
Oh, okay. I could stop being on social media. I just don't want to be told what I am and am not allowed to post.
Yeah. No, but he's like you're mine now. I want us to be in this relationship. You don't need to show all this off for other dudes.
Yeah.
You would stop?
Yeah.
Okay.
I wouldn't.
So it's funny, they do this in Miami, and they ask all the girls, "Would you want a long-term relationship, or do you want you in a long-term relationship, or do you want your Instagram?" And every girl said, "I want my Instagram." Every girl said, "I would not give up my Instagram for a long-term relationship." You?
No, yeah, I would give it up. I have a hard time with social media already anyway, as you know. I just finally started taking pictures and posting. But yeah, no, absolutely, 100%.
Yeah.
And are you looking for long-term? Do you want to get married?
Yeah, I do.
You get wiped up.
Yes, I
No,
do.
I would not give it up.
Well, that's it's your vocation too.
It's a business. It helps with my business.
Can we talk about this? So here's some stats that are on the face level that would seem like a double standard, but they're still true. And so this is something that a lot of women find to be uncomfortable. And this is the statistic. So as you go through life and have more sexual partners, there's studies that show this is Family Growth, is the Office of Family Growth. Is that did this study?
It's the IFS.
Okay, IFS.
International Family Studies.
Okay, so the International Family Studies did this, and basically what they did is they took the number of sexual partners you had, and then how that would correlate in a marriage, whether or not you're happy or not happy in the marriage. The actual question was very happy or not very happy in the marriage, and the second thing was, did you get a divorce? Right, those were the two kind of things that they went through there. And what they found with men is that when men had very few sexual partners, they were happy, and fewer. And then once they got to like 6 to 10 sexual partners, they actually got happier. You notice this? It's like because normally adjusted men in North America will have like 6 to 10 sexual partners. That means they've had some sexual partners, then they met their wife, and then they're with their wife. Having more sexual partners, what I'm trying to say is, did not affect how happy a man was in his marriage. Okay, and I know some guys here some girls here live in Vegas that get married to a dude, and the girl's been with 3 guys, and the guy has been with 500 girls, and he's just normal because it doesn't really affect men in their relationships if they've been with a lot of. You agree with this?
Yeah.
You've seen this before. Okay, for women, not the fucking same thing. For women, as you got, like it would go, like the happiest women are women who literally the first guy they had sex with, they married. Those were the ones who showed the highest level of happiness. Once it got to 6 to 10 partners, it plummeted below 50%. It got really, really low, and women were saying that they didn't enjoy it. And in fact, it got to the point where we had 20 sexual partners, you had a 17% chance of staying in a marriage. For men, this was not the case. Men having more sexual partners had very little correlation on whether or not they stayed in a marriage. Women having more sexual partners had a very not deep, it was statistically significant correlation on whether or not they got out of a marriage.
And remember, it's correlation, not causation.
Yeah, it's correlation, not causation.
And you have to also remember that happiness is a qualitative figure, not a quantitative figure. However, there's also stats for when women have higher body counts, they have a higher incidence of depression. Higher instance of marital unhappiness or a marital stability.
Again, we're not. This is not a statement about what the way the world should be. But when men have a lot of sexual partners, they don't get depressed. When women have a lot of sexual partners, a lot of times they do. If you guys want to check out the end of the movie after porn ends, at the end of the movie they show all these porn stars, and at the end,
love them.
Have you seen the end of the movie?
And yeah, I've seen them
But the
all.
women are not well adjusted. A lot of them are very unhappy. A lot of them go back into porn. A lot of them they got religious, went back into porn. Some of them were into drugs. Every one of the dudes was happy as shit. They had started a law practice.
And that was like a different time period.
Well, I mean, I don't know that studio porn is really even a thing anymore. I think every one of those people
Still a thing.
Yeah, but they all have OnlyFans.
Yeah, but it's still a thing.
Yeah, I'm saying like all of them are using it as lead gen for their OnlyFans now.
Sure.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying it's significantly different now.
Well, so there's also there's the STD, stats,
For sure.
which is easy to track. But then there's also there's depression. There's incidence of divorce, a higher incidence of divorce. And then there's a higher incidence of marital unhappiness. Stability is how they define it. Also, and just because I know people are going to knock us on this, it is also the test, the pool, the test sample is for women who are 30 years old or older. So it's not like we're not looking at it, because the reason why they do that is because the average age of first marriage in the United States is 28 for women and 29 or 30 for men. And then it's couples who have been married for at least 5 years.
Yeah. So that
I want to put that out there
30.
because I got to be accurate here, because there's a lot of sons of bitches out there quoting these stats and they never quote that stuff because then people go, "Oh, are those really accurate?" Yes, they are. That's how that's the methodology that they use, and we have to clarify that because people will take it and then they'll run with it.
So the point is, this book behind me, the Evolutionary Psychology book, this is a book about the way humans are, not the way they ought to be. Like, evolutionary psychology does not cover human rights. Evolutionary psychology covers what were the naturally selected proclivities that humans have that aided in survival. For women to be selective about who they have sexual intercourse with aided in survival, and for men to not be picky aided in their survival.
Men can separate emotion from the sex.
For sure, completely.
So let me ask this question. Here, let's throw this one, because we put this one out before. If you meet a guy, maybe you're with a guy right now, does his sexual history make a difference to you, and does your sexual history make a difference to him? Is it an issue? If you met a guy that had 100 partners, would that bother you? or
It's
would you be
Vegas.
okay
Oh,
with
I'm
that?
sorry.
It is Vegas.
500 partners.
500.
It's Vegas. 500
Let's
partners.
make a nice round number.
I mean, honestly, as long as he's clean, doesn't have any STDs, like, I don't give a shit. Like, your past before me is your past before me. Like, especially sexually, that means better experience for me. You know what you're doing in bed.
Does that improve his chances?
Yeah, so no, I don't give a shit. As long as you're clean, it's fine.
Shar, let's make that a TikTok.
And Domo,
let's make that a TikTok, Shar.
And
It's gonna be a
Domo,
TikTok.
I know your business, so maybe this is kind of a moot point. But
Absolutely, testing is important. I don't really care about the past of other women either. That doesn't bother me, and I don't feel like threatened by that. But just being aware of your test results is your status is important.
So the number's not important so much as the health factor.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, the number does not matter at all. I could care less. But I do have 4 brothers at home. And if there was a girl who had about 100 partners, I know that would be a problem for them.
What about
It's different.
What do you think?
With women?
I think it's different for men and women.
So what's so you would you not care if? A
Oh
guy
yeah, I don't
explain?
care. I wouldn't care. That's their past. That all happened before me. Once you have met me and we have started a relationship, it's a whole thing.
Once we get to the natty voodoo clam, then there's no other voodoo clams. There's no other clams. It's just her. It's got it. I understand now. The magic. Okay. Now, do you believe that it matters to men?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because I feel like, so this may be a bad example, but I feel like if a woman found out her man was cheating, I feel like they're more likely to forgive them and take them back. Where if a guy, I know personally men who have found their girl cheating, it's like the end of the world. And they're like,
Ultimate
she's
sin.
a fucking horrible person. Yeah.
Yeah, so the way Dr. Bust describes this, men generally ask when they get cheated on, did you fuck him? Women ask, do you love her?
Yeah.
And the other thing about it is when gay men get cheated on, they ask, did you fuck him? When lesbian women get cheated on, they ask, do you love her? It actually has to do with XY chromosome and hormones. It does not have to do with your sexual preferences.
Yeah.
Interesting.
What do you think? Do you think that it matters to men?
Yes and no. I mean, it depends what type of men. Some, especially girls that are in the industry, some men get really excited about that. That's kind of a fetish for them. But then there is that other, citizens.
Demographic of guys.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or civilians, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You already said
Yeah.
your brothers would have a problem with a
And
girl who had 100 body
Yeah.
count.
Yeah.
And you feel the same way? That men care more?
Yeah.
Yeah,
For sure.
It's interesting. So we've asked this question before, and then sometimes instead of this, we'll have a girl be like, "Men shouldn't care." We'll be like, "Okay, so you have a son, and your son is coming home, and he has a new girlfriend
Or a brother.
or a brother. The girlfriend has 3 different baby's daddies, and has been with 100 women. What are you going to tell your son?" And you should see the dissonance in the woman's face. She's like, okay, yeah.
3 different baby daddies.
I would tell him not to be with her. He can do better because all of a sudden, once it's your
He doesn't want to be number 4.
yeah, but all of a sudden, when it's your genetics on the line, because this is your child, this person's related to you, then all of a sudden you give a shit, and that's essentially what happens. Like whenever you ask, it's funny when you ask men questions through the lens of their daughters, they become blue pilled. When you ask women that questions through the lens of their sons, they become red pilled. It's just really interesting how that whole thing works. But yeah, there is a double standard. If it sounds like there's a double standard, there is a double standard. A man could go to Brazil, fuck 17 girls, and then the next day be cool, and then the day after that fuck 17 girls, and then go back to his fucking wife and not act any differently. And it blows women's mind when you say that. I'm not excusing that. I'm not saying guys go to fucking Florianopolis and have sex with 17 girls. What I'm saying is that men, our psychology is different. Like different animals can eat different things. It's just part of their psychology. As men, we have the capability of doing this and separating the love from the intimacy. And so, there's another thing. Do you believe that this is cultural or evolutionary? What do you think? The fact that men can get away with this and not be affected by it. Do you think it's cultural? Do you think it's evolutionary? Do you think
I
it's
feel like
genetic?
it's cultural.
Think it's cultural? What do you mean? Do you think
That's the culture that we live in.
you think that culture teaches men to be okay with having multiple sexual partners and not be affected by it?
Yeah,
It's
guys
not-
are high-fived every
but
time.
it's not genetics. You understand it would have. You don't think it's genetics. You think it's cultural. What do you think?
I think it's evolution 100%.
What do you think?
Evolution.
What do you think?
I think a little bit of both, but mainly evolution, yeah.
Okay, so here's the reason why it's 100% evolution. There's a study done in 1989 by Dr. David Buss where he goes to 37 different cultures. Some of these cultures have no contact whatsoever with the Western world. We're talking about tribes in the Andes. We're talking about tribes in Polynesia that have no contact with anyone else. In every single one of these 37 tribes, men were more interested in casual sex than women were. In every single one of these tribes, men found the same signs of youth and symmetry in women to be the same across all of them, and they had no contact with each other whatsoever. They found a 0.72 hip-to-waist ratio to be the most attractive, and the women found men to have a 1.65 to 1 shoulder-to-waist ratio to be the most attractive. There were women preferred men that were tall, not a specific type of height, but taller than them. And like I said before, in every one of these societies, men were more aggressive than women. It is not cultural, 0% cultural. It is 100% because you belong to a species of hominids that's been around for 300,000 years, and that this is a survival characteristic of men. Men throughout evolutionary history have needed to have sex with as many partners as they could to spread their seed, and women needed to be picky in order to protect their offspring. That is just the way it's been, and it aided in survival, and that's the reason why it exists. It has zero to do with culture.
When we asked this question before, I think it was like on the first or the second episode here, we asked exactly the same question. Would you be okay with a guy that had a lot of partners? And every girl that was on the show said they would be okay with it so long as they didn't have to meet any of the ex-partners like in a club or something like that. Like it was
except for Natty.
There was a social
Natty
thing.
wants their autograph.
Yeah. So would you guys like line up with that? Like would that be an issue for you? Would you be okay with the guy being, having a sexual past, but also just so long as you don't actually have to meet them like socially or just run into them at the grocery store or some shit?
I mean, I don't care, especially Vegas is so small. You're going to run into he's run into my exes, I've run into his. Like, honestly, as long as they're cordial with me and you're respectful, I don't care. Like, don't sit there and try to flirt with him or something. But
oh, you're fucking him now.
Yeah, it's like, but no, I mean, I don't care. As long as the chick is cool. Like, I also get along with like I've dated guys in the past where I'm actually friends with their exes. So I don't care.
I have I dabbled in a polyamory relationship, and I personally wouldn't do it again, but I have made some very solid relationships with my exes. Exes.
Why did polyamory not work for you?
The reason for me, I think having a threesome or something like that is nice where, the woman can go away.
If your business is porn,
that's
automatically make
that's a crazy suggestion, girl. That's a crazy suggestion, girl. That's crazy. I can't believe you said that on the air.
Well,
that's a crazy suggestion. I can't believe you said that, girl. I can't believe you said that.
So look, the reason why it didn't work out, and I think it was a lot. This was a younger girl. She was not in the industry, and she was not mature enough to handle the situation. So she was battling her own demons where she was taking him away from me and then being competitive and then living with this bitch and then our periods and stuff. It's like,
You guys started to sync up?
Huh?
You guys started to sync up?
Yeah. And actually, no, we didn't sync up. It was always off. And it ended up being that this fucking bitch.
Every 2 weeks, one of them's a bitch.
Well, no, she was a bitch the whole time. It was just she was so young. And then, so behind the closed doors, she wanted to basically be competitive with me. But then with friends and stuff, she was trying to be my girlfriend. I'm like, bitch, you ain't my girlfriend. You're his girlfriend. And I just think living with that person, for me, I'm not saying, I've met some successful polyamory people. They could do it. For me, it's just not for me.
Would any of you
I want to hear if the rest of them.
That's what I was going to go with this. It's like, would any of you guys be okay in a poly relationship, or would it be okay if you were with a guy and you were his like main girl, but he gets side pieces? Would you be okay with that? If he's high enough value, like he's your ideal guy, and he's like, don't worry, I'm in love with you. I'm gonna wife you up at some point, but maybe I still gotta hit it on the side.
I'm still pretty old school. I feel like I'm still pretty monogamous, which is crazy. But I flirt with girls all the fucking time.
My ex was trying to get with you.
I know exactly who you're talking
Yeah.
about. She sleeps at my house every time she fucking comes over.
It's really funny. Yeah.
She has a crush on me.
Yeah.
I crush on her too, though. She's hot. So.
Anyway, keep going.
But you still don't want. You don't want a polyamorous relationship.
No,
so
I wouldn't want to do it. Yeah, I feel like I'm very old school in that aspect, and I just want to know what I have is mine, and I don't want the stress of all of it. I have so many model girlfriends that are poly, and it just seems to always go very sideways.
Yeah.
Of course, now bringing multiple partners into the mix and not being poly, but having a couple, and then you bring girls into it and you're hooking up. Yeah, of course that works out. But having a third person in a relationship with you, I've seen nothing but a fucking mess.
So what you're describing is a thruple, and the other thing what you're talking about.
We don't make these words up, by the way.
It's okay.
So thruple is you're right. A thruple tends to be a problem. Polygyny is what you're referring to before, where like most of the girls I date was like her and I, we would pick up women together.
Yeah.
So that's polygyny, right? So that's fine. Polyamory is where there's multiple men involved. Polyandry is when there's multiple men and only one woman. So polygyny is something different, like what you're describing. I find that to be like, that tends to be a little bit more stable. Complete polyamory, unless the dude's bisexual, I think that doesn't really work very well.
I don't think it works either.
We didn't
I have
we
not
didn't have
seen a
another dude,
successful-
but
No.
I wish there was one.
This is all really new to me.
Yeah.
I never heard about these types of relationships. I feel like I might be okay with it just because I feel like all the relationships I've been in, the men have been really possessive of me and they just want to be with me all the time, and I don't like that. So if there was somebody else to like take them away, I'm like, yeah, take them, please.
Yeah, sometimes you need to call in like a pinch hitter. Sorry. Yeah. Anyway, cool. Rhodes, do you have another question?
No.
Let's go to the super chats. You have like 19
the
super chats.
are just like all over the place. Travis, if you want to read the super chats, you can.
Some of these.
Give me a second to load them up.
This chat is like fucking on fire.
So just to let you know, guys, I mean, just to be honest with you, like a lot of the people who watch this, a lot of them are guys, and they're under the belief, like everything we describe.
Brace for impact.
A lot of the things they describe, I describe them as functions of evolution. These men see them as like you're evil. Because the fact that you guys are, what do you mean you have this double standard? What do you mean you're delusional and think you can all get 6-foot men who do this? What do you mean that you want this and that? Or like that makes them very angry. And so they send in these ugly chats. I just want to let you know. Don't take any of it personally.
While he's queuing those up, the other thing that I think is kind of unique, especially to this show, and maybe it's just because we're in Vegas, is I titled this show, are the women in Vegas and Miami, are all women like you guys? And clearly it's not the case. I mean, we were just making use the example of how most women meet other guys through like Tinder and Hinge and Bumble. The average woman meets the average man in a much different fashion than any of you that are sitting at this table right now. So I think we can sort of separate that from, we can answer that question right now. Clearly that, the women that are in Miami, the women that are in Vegas, at least the ones that are doing what you guys do at your level are not the let's say a sample of the average woman right now. You're at a different level than most of them are. So let me just clarify that for the chat here right now. So hey, how come you guys don't get average women on there? Why don't we have some 40-year-old soccer mom with 3 kids?
So here's the problem with these dudes, right? And I'll straight up say this: if you want to denigrate a woman's looks on the podcast, that's fine, but you have to write me on IG and let me see the girl you're dating. What? Crickets.
Yes.
Yeah.
Crickets. Yes. It's fine. You guys do whatever the fuck you want. You can say whatever you want. Trust me, the girls aren't reading your comments, so you look like a bitch. The problem is, if you want to say that, that's fine. Just write me on Instagram, and then let me see the girl you're dating. For some reason, I've been doing this for weeks, and not a single time has a single dude written me and shown me the girl that he's dating. I don't give a fuck, guys, about calling. If you say we don't call women out, I called out Brittany Renner out. I called that fucking Amber Heard. I called that fucking dude. I mean, seriously, Giselle Munchin. I was on here like I got clips that did 1 million views for what I said about Giselle Munchin. It's not an issue about that. The problem is you suck with women. And you're sitting there making fun of women. Don't suck with women first. How about you do it that way first? And that's the whole issue.
Well, I think we can learn a lot from panels like this, honestly, because it's not just about the guys in the chat who are going, I respect myself too much to actually ask these girls out, blah blah blah, like limiting themselves. Like I was saying before, they would never even like the thought of even approaching anyone at this table would never be a concept in their brain to start with. But then, so there's those guys. I'm already prepared for that. It's when I get critiqued by people who are like, say, other podcasters who will probably take this very video and start clipping it up and going, well, are these really the women of the future? She's going to be a mother when she, like you're 30 now. What's she going to be like when she's 40? And she's got like kids and everything, and they're like they're worried about your life course or your life plan or something. But I think what happens is like when we have these conversations. And we don't have like just the average, 40-year-old soccer mom or somebody like a day worker at CVS or something, comes in here and tells us what her dating life is like. The chat is still going to like tear them apart no matter what. But then having elite level women, let's just, for lack of a better term, elite level women here to explain what your experience is like. It's not going to be what the average woman's experience is going to be like, but we'll still be. I still think we can take a lot of value from what you guys have to say, not because it's just like everyone else, but because it's not like all the other girls that are out there. So. I just want to preempt that because I know for a fact that there's going to be like other podcasts that are going to take this and they go, well, not all women are like that. Yeah, but these women are like this. And like when we were having the discussion about like waiting in line and you were like, saying, why am I waiting for 5 hours for these bitches that know that they're not going to get in there? It's a similar situation, right? So why are we having conversations about the average woman when I'm the one that's going to be here and I'm the one that's going to get the job in the first place? So
Yeah.
How are we doing, Travis?
We have the super chats. Are you ready?
Yeah, rock and roll.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Brace
super
for
chats
impact.
are super cool. The ladies will actually listen to what you're saying if you chat them. Also, like the damn video. There's so many people watching right now. Like the video right now. I'm okay. You get it. So I'm gonna read the super chats, ones that are just donations, whatever. In the super chats constantly. Thank you so much, whatever. He's verified, guys. You should actually go.
Oh, it's the motherfucker's name, whatever.
Verified.
Okay.
His name is
I was
whatever.
confused. Shout out to
It's
whatever.
Brian.
All right, whatever podcast, it's Brian Atlas. There you go, Brian. There's your plug.
Fantastic content. Jake Cohen for $20. No chat. Then we have a Jason DG saying, love the show. Read the Rational Male and Player's Handbook. Hey, Mike, what book is on the bottom shelf behind you? You should put the girls' links in the description.
Definitely put the girls' links in the description as soon as I'm done here. That's the Operator by Robert O'Neill. It's one of my favorite books. He is a Navy SEAL, and he purports, there's other people who agree with him and some that don't, that he was the man who killed Osama bin Laden. But the reason why I love the book is because it describes leadership in a way that I try to pass on to a lot of my clients. And there is a scene in there where he talks about SEAL training and buds that is the funniest thing I've ever read in any book in my entire life. Also, the events in this book are what are portrayed in the movie Zero Dark 30, the last 30 minutes of that movie, which is my favorite. Those 30 minutes are the greatest 30 minutes of cinema ever filmed. So that's why I love that book so much.
And like the damn video. Don't be a ninja watcher.
We don't like Ninja Watchers. Like the damn video. We got whatever coming in for a $2 super chat saying linebacker XD was laughing at the linebacker comment you made a bit earlier. I thought it was pretty funny. We got Reckless Gaming for $2 Canadian. If you're not select, should you be going for an 8 or 10s? Anybody?
What about leagues? If you're not an 8 or
No. You could. But so here's the thing with the LMS guys, the fucking black pill doomers. The thing is with looks, can you fix Can you fix looks to a certain extent? You can fix your teeth and groom your hair. Most of you guys who complain about men who are really good looking, there's so many things you could do to fix your own appearance. Wear clothes that fit. One more time, listen to me now. Those fucking jeans your mom bought you from Walmart back when you were junior high. Wear clothes that fit you properly. Work on your physique. There's so many ways you can looks max before we get to the point. Well, yeah, if you're a shorter dude, is it going to be a disadvantage? For sure. But there's so many things you can do. Money, that's something you can fix. That's something I recommend you try to fix. Let's get to a certain level. At least, you should. I know some guys say $78,000 a year is once you get to that point, you don't really get much happier after that.
Your looks, get to the gym. Get your fat ass to the gym.
For sure.
That's the first thing because that's the thing you have the most direct control over, right?
But as far as status, guys, fuck, dude. Just learn how to do pre-selection. That's what I've been teaching for 15 fucking years. It's so easy. Status is so controllable for men, and you can do it for free. It's so mind-boggling to me. So no, there's no excuse.
Ladies,
you can go for anybody you want.
Money, muscles, or game, like social skills. In what order? Start over here.
When you say game, what do you mean by that?
Like social skills. Like he's good, like a conversationalist. He's good with talking. He can run a good game on you.
I would say that's number one, money second, muscles third.
Yeah, social skills, money, and what was it?
Money, muscles, or game?
Muscles, yeah.
Muscles at the end.
At the end.
Exact same.
Exactly.
There you go. Okay. Next, Travis.
You guys are not keeping into account. Green glasses also help. Interesting. We got Terrell Xavier for a $5 super chat. We got birth control pill lowers female testosterone by 60%, lowering sex drive, making exercise less effective, and increasing weight. It is female castration.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So
I didn't know
true.
that.
I got to
So
look that
true.
up now.
All right, moving on. We have the Hudsman for a $5 super chat. Someone explain the prego content. Was that solo or with other guys? You know, he wants a link.
No.
he wants a
I mean,
link.
look. Okay, so that it comes in many forms. You can do it with men. I did mine completely solo, and I did it within my boundaries. So there was definitely some requests I did not do, but all by myself.
Solo. Got it.
Solo, fantastic. We got whatever with another $2 super chat saying, if all the girl tell me to F off, I'll happily oblige her. All right,
Oh,
Brian, we know what you do.
All right, Brian.
Brian Gonzalez for $1, $1.99 super chat. Delusional is an understatement with these gremlin. Wow. Brian Gonzalez, one more time with $1.99 says, you're a few years away from a high-risk pregnancy. Brian Gonzalez again with the $1.99 super chat. The Carfax on these do not look good at all, fellas. One more time with the $1.99 super chat. Their body count can buy a table at their club. I'm not sure who specifically they're talking about.
No, the club is too expensive. No, it's too expensive.
You're not thinking Vegas.
Yeah.
And one more $1.99 super chat from Brian Gonzalez. OnlyFans equals recreational use only.
Okay.
Fantastic. Brian Gonzalez does not stop, but we'll take a break shortly. With Excel Self for a $9.99 super chat says, sad to see someone give up on this life, regardless if who they are. Her body, her choice shouldn't be a reason for bullying.
Talking about August Ames, yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Guys, our favorite guy
Rest
is
in
back.
power.
Brian Gonzalez is back for $1.99 super chat. We are y'all even post worthy? Y'all wrinkly already. Brian Gonzalez again, $1.99 super chat. Keep on giving us the
Brian,
money.
please.
Remember to like the video as well, Brian.
Thank you.
Don't
Yeah.
forget that.
Thank you for your chat. We're still waiting on your pictures for your girlfriend, though.
Yeah.
Put me in, Chief. I'll bust a Myron Gaines on them. I don't know what that means. Do you guys have any insight?
No, they want blood. You want
Yeah,
blood?
they want us to like call them
Come on,
delusional.
kick
I'm not
these
calling you
girls
delusional.
off
I just
the
brought the look on your face when I told you how many men were over the age of over 6 feet tall, and you were like, what? Like, you remember that?
Yeah.
Like, you know, there are other shows where guys are like, "Oh, you're fucking delusional." I'm not going to call you fucking delusional. Most people just don't know this. Like, I think the proclivities that women have to do with natural selection. The proclivities I have to do with natural selection. I know that if I'm in married monogamous relationship, I will look at other women and be like, "God damn, she's hot, and I want to have sex with her." I know that hunger still lives in me because I have 17 times as much testosterone as you do. That is evolution. I'm not blaming anyone for anything that they're doing. And some of these other things are some of these other shows. I'm not saying because obviously I love Myron and Fresh. Their show is a little bit more red meat. You understand? Yeah. They get at it. The girls will go back and forth, and they almost get into fucking fights, and the girls get kicked off the show. And we're just not doing that here. Because
we're having a conversation.
We're having a conversation.
Yeah, exactly.
Shout out to Fresh and Fit.
We are not done. Brian Gonzalez is back with the $1.99 super chat. They are sixes at best, 28 to 32, aging like milk.
Still waiting on those pictures.
Exactly.
Brian.
Still waiting on pictures of who you're dating, buddy.
Send it to the DMs. We'll find it.
Like, if she's a 6, show me what the fucking 8
Seriously,
is.
no.
Please show me
Time
what
out, time
an
out.
8
Show
is.
me the 8 you're with. That's what
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like this guy's trying to flirt with us.
Kinda low key.
You might have a chance if it's more than $1.99, Brian Gonzalez. We'll figure that out. We got Excel Self $9.99 US dollar. What's with all the beta simps in the chats? I've been watching a lot of your videos, Rolo, and it seems like the doomers are all out tonight.
It's only for this show. On my show, it's so much more highbrow.
Yeah.
Okay, we got Wealth Mindset with just a nice gift of $1.99. Not saying anything. Thank you so much. Brian Gonzalez, our favorite man, coming back with $1.99.
Dude, you're personally supporting the show. Thank you.
I know.
You just paid the rent, Brian. Thank you.
Thank you.
Do y'all take your kids to work day? Exactly. All right, cool. I'm sure we know what that means. No, we don't. That's weird. $1.99 super chat. Brian Gonzalez again supporting the troops. Hey, bro, you gotta roast them like F and F.
Fresh and Fit. Thank you. Keep
I
on.
will make a comment for that because, obviously in porn, it's very easy for men to troll us about us being mothers. There's a lot of badass bitches who are in porn and we're moms now, and we can provide nannies, daycares, so that we do our work separately and no children is harmed, and our children are very well taken care of. So fuck you.
There you go. There you go, Brian. There you go, Brian.
That's what you needed to say. There we go.
And show me pictures of your girlfriend.
Show me pictures of your girlfriend.
But most importantly, thank you for your donation. Guys, remember to like the video. I'm being serious.
Go.
I will do something horrible.
Don't be a
if you
ninja
guys
watcher.
Don't do it. What is it? What do we? Ed View is saying keeping for $1.99, keeping Ned off OnlyFans. I'm not sure who.
Ned is my greyhound. That's my dog. Okay, so
fantastic.
Thank you, Tori.
We got DigiNomad for $2 in Canadian. Owen Cook, FNF, laughing, and Rolo's hypergamy poem.
Oh, that was a long time ago. Yeah, he was Owen Cook from RSD came on Fresh and Fit, and did he have some poem or something about like hypergamy doesn't care? I think is what he was reading. That's what he's referring to.
He was reading from your shit.
Yeah, the one time I've ever met Owen was like I think it was like earlier this year.
Wow,
Like
that's
January
crazy.
or
He read
February.
your shit on there.
Oh yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it was an interesting experience. Let's say I wasn't expecting him to be on the show.
Yeah.
That it?
All right, that's
We're
it.
good. We
Fantastic.
are good.
We lived.
All right.
One more for Brian. Just kidding. I'm joking.
No, Brian, come on, man. Pay it off.
Yeah, it's interesting. The reason why they can't write
the
me on
rent.
Instagram is because they don't have Instagrams. None of them have Instagrams.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask why you think he has a girlfriend,
What do you mean?
Brian.
He doesn't.
I know.
Yeah, that's the point. Yeah, that's it.
Okay. I
The
get
thing
it.
is,
I get it.
the thing is, like they get triple angry. And by the way, I don't care. You guys are all failures, and none of you could afford my program anyway, so I don't give a shit about pissing them off. But the thing is, like they get more angry when I say, "Then show me who it is that you're dating," because I'm literally calling out the ultimate insecurity that they have. They're bad with women, so that's why they're saying this stuff about you, and that's essentially what's going on. I don't care. Like, dude, do I have some female friends that do wild shit out in these streets, fucking crazy, laughing about their fucking sugar daddies? Yes, all the time. Do I want to marry them? Fuck no, I don't want to marry them. It doesn't mean I want to marry them, but at the same time, I'm not going to denigrate them for no fucking reason. Do you know what I'm saying? Because we all make different decisions. The thing is, I understand men are the way they are and women are the way they are because of 178 million years of mammalian evolution, 3 million years of hominid evolution, and 300,000 years of Homo sapien evolution. That's the reason why we are the way we are. It's nobody's to blame, but that's the way the world works. And the next question, because I saw some people saying this, where do we go from here? Wherever the fuck we go. Like, we won. There's 8 billion humans on the planet. There's 400,000 fucking elephants. We're done. We won. There's no more. The dumbest people on the planet live on the planet right now, and the smartest people who've ever lived are on the planet right now. The tallest people, the shortest people. There's no evolutionary pressure to survive anymore. You can have type 2 diabetes and live forever. You can have all kinds. You have fucking kidney failure and get a replacement kidney. All these things, antibiotics. Like, people, there's no evolutionary pressure to survive. We are the apex predator on this planet. And so when people are like, what happens? Like, whatever happens, it happens. It's not that big of a deal. We have 4 more super chats. I pissed them off so much.
I know.
They're coming at me.
I know. You're provoking
here's my neck,
now.
bitch.
You're provoking
Here's my neck,
now.
bitch.
So House of Pain, this is really good. Ladies, do men with children from previous relationship matter much in deciding to date them?
Oh. No.
Single fathers.
I don't think that matters at all. I still believe in God, even though a lot of people don't now in this day and age. But I think that
I so need my Stream Deck.
I believe that God or the universe kind of set certain people out in this world, certain women or certain men that can take care of another person's child and love it as their own. I personally feel like I've always been someone like that I could have someone that has a child and love it just as if it was my own blood child. Can all women do that? Absolutely not. Can all men do that? No, but I think there are certain people that would love more than ever to take care of someone else's kid, as long as it made the person that they're in the relationship with happy.
Let me pick this one up too. JJ, $9. Thanks, brother. Says, nah, Sartain, it's because the girls on that show want a high-value man without bringing any value. That's where the delusion comes from.
No, the delusion's fine. I don't mind. See, but that's not what I said.
I'm like,
what I
what
said, hold on. Somebody
They
said
don't bring any
something.
value. I don't think they brought
No, here's the point. When somebody says something that is not true and you say that they're delusional, that's fine. I'm not complaining about that. What I'm complaining about is a woman who wouldn't piss on you if you're on fire and you're calling her a wrinkled hoe. That's the problem I have. You're terrible.
Here's my chance.
You're terrible with women bashing women. That's what I'm talking about.
Right.
Like, listen to me. Like, look how mad glad they're getting in the chat too. It doesn't matter. Say whatever you want about me. You still suck with women. If an attractive woman came around, they would run away from you. That's the point. And here's the thing. You could make me shut up. Just write me on IG. But none of you will write me on IG because what I'm saying is so fucking unassailably true. You're fucking losers because you suck with... By the way, you're not a loser because you suck with women. You can learn to be better with women. You're a loser because you suck with the women and then you come on a show to denigrate women who you could never date. So if she's a hoe and she wouldn't date you...
Here's my chance.
What does that say about you? She's a hoe and she wouldn't date you, bro. That means you suck even worse. That's my point. I'm not here trying to be a fucking white knight. I am a performance coach. I am a performer. It's men of action, not men of commenting, not men of being a bitch. It's not men of estrogen. It's not men of fucking dithering and men of blathering. It's not men of theory. It's not men of fucking message boards. It's men of action, and you don't take action, bitch. And that's the reason why you're getting fucking called out in the chat.
Michael, you do really good at Findom.
Yeah. I got Mims here. It says, greetings from Arizona, Rolo. Just wanted to personally thank you for your work throughout the years. Changed my life and made me a better man. Thank you very much for that, my friend. Let's see, Casey, whose name I can't get. Great dialogue, Rolo. Thank you. Fire. Already read House of Pain. Brian Gonzalez, you're back. No, you're not. Brian says, I still love you, Rolo. Thank you very much. That your love means everything to me.
Yeah.
Blind controller chat, ease up off of Myron's ball bag. This is a different show. Everyone doesn't have the same approach. Shout out to F Fresh and Fit. But here's this is Access Vegas. Thank you very much. You are correct, my friends. So, do you guys have any questions for us? Well, we have to get to
one
here.
question. What are the statistics of women who get in domestic violence relationships, like the impact that it has in their future relationships with other men?
It's really interesting because for that, there's so many unreliable statistics as far as that's concerned, because one of the things about, by the way, sexual assault and domestic abuse is that we don't know, in some cases it's overreported, in some cases it's underreported. Yeah. So it's really difficult to say. Almost like there's certain things we just don't ethically know about where the reality is that with that whole situation. What I do know is that there's a middle ground. I know some people are saying, like with the whole believe women, believe everyone, right? The whole believe women thing. Then Amber Heard comes out, who has borderline personality disorder, and she just sets that movement back 100 years, right? And then there's some people that are like, no, every time a woman claims that she was raped, she's just using this as like a fucking leverage against men. Both of those things are wrong. The answer is that it's somewhere in the middle, right? I don't believe all men. I don't believe people I don't believe my fucking family members half the time. I'm not going to just believe all women. I'm going to leave it to the legal process and see what happens. That's generally how it works. You have to develop some level of fucking evidence. But I don't know. That's a good question as far as how that works. What I do know is this. It's a really interesting fact about the O.J. Simpson trial. Marcia Clark, they did a moot trial in fucking Arizona before the O.J. Simpson trial. And they found out that 69% of African-American women thought that some domestic abuse in a relationship was tolerable. It was normal. It was acceptable. And then they put 9 black women on the jury. He got called 21 times for domestic abuse violations. And Marcia Clark tried to paint OJ as a domestic abuser before she tried to paint him as a murderer, and that's why he was acquitted. That's part of the reason why he was acquitted. It's just really interesting. Like, one of the things is that it's not fully reported all the time. So that's a good question. I don't know. No. That's a good question.
I actually had to field that question on a certain daytime talk show that I went on back in November, who will remain nameless until the show is actually dropped at some point. But the guy who was on the panel sitting opposite me tried to get me with that. He's like, well, don't you know, like, what's the number one what's the number one crime or whatever against women? And of course, it's like, men's violence is what he was insinuating. And if I could get a do-over on that, I would have said, no, actually, the number one killer of women is actually heart disease.
Shit.
Because it's a weight-related disease. That's what it is. Really, that's what kills the most amount of women. It's not guys being violent with them, although that's what he wanted to talk about. Yeah. But it's true. That's what men are. We are violent. We are aggressive. That is simply part of male nature. And so saying that we need to teach men to not be violent is kind of like saying, well, we need to re-engineer the machine. I was just who was it? James Cameron, the director from like Avatar or whatever. he's in the news these days because the new Avatar movie is out right now, and he was just quoted as saying that the number one like most dangerous, chemical on the planet is like testosterone, and we need to find some way to make sure that we can have a kinder, gentler world by eliminating testosterone, because it's the source of all of the world's problems, kind of thing. And by the way, that's not a new sentiment. I have heard that like over the years. I've been doing this for about 20 years. But like to hear that kind of like as being something that should be broadcast as it, and people be like, oh yeah, you're right. We need to really throttle back the testosterone and toxic masculinity and all that good stuff. Men are going to be violent. That's part of our nature. We're supposed to be. That's how we work. That's how the machine works. Do we have self-control? Should we teach self-control? Absolutely, we should. You need to be able to keep that in check. But it also doesn't preclude arguments or discussions about other things as well. So when I hear what about domestic violence? What about this? I'm like, yeah, okay, I agree with that, but that's not the conversation that we're having at this point. Like, I'm not saying you bringing it up, that's fine. But like, I'm just saying that it's usually used as some sort of counter to like anything that's sort of like an unflattering truth about men's nature or women's nature.
Sure, because it does impact women's choices for the future.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Let's see, what else do we got here? I got a few more left. Oh boy. Jeff White says, just broke up with my girlfriend today. It was really bad. I plan on continuing to self-improve, gym, finances, etc. I'm sad, but it's her loss. Okay. John Dredd, who I know.
Good job.
Hi, John Dredd. Great show, gentlemen. Enjoyed the panel discussion. I'm curious where the ladies see themselves in 10 years. I asked you guys if you wanted to get married. Also, like, where does that fit on your like sort of priority scale?
You'll be at your fourth year at the new at Tau Beach.
In 10 years?
I'm fucking with you. I'm fucking with you.
I mean, definitely want to be married, and then financially, like, have complete financial freedom, happy. Like, that's such a hard question because I don't know. Like, I take it one day at a time.
So I'm just assuming you make significantly more than your partner. Has that ever been an issue?
I mean, actually, no. The past couple guys that I've been with, because I have been with guys where I had to take care of them. So after that, after like the last relationship that I had with that, I was like, never again.
Never
So
again.
the past couple guys, yeah. So this guy, no, he actually, like, I make more than him, but like he still makes really good money. And then the last guy, he made more than me. So yeah.
Got it.
10 years, I see myself being an entrepreneur, running my business, teaching girls, actually coaching girls how to hustle on OnlyFans, webcams safely, where they don't have to be exploited by a man in order to do their job. Running events. I do Turo. I rent cars out. Like, I'm a serial like entrepreneur. I like the hustle. I like the process. So,
Jordan.
Married and happy. I just really care about being happy. Feel as though I've wasted a lot of time over the past few years with being stressed out or being in relationships that maybe weren't serving me properly. So all I care about is being happy. It's a huge thing.
Nugs.
I have a few different like projects, things I want to work on in the next 10 years. I don't really know what's going to do well, so I can't say where I will be.
Who can really?
yeah.
Okay, last one here. Don't give us any more. I'm not going to read any more after this. Pat Simmons, Polish passport. Thanks, brother. What's the ladies' opinion on Kim Kardashian's crying about her toddler, finding out about her sex tape? Do the ladies have any anxiety about having to explain their lifestyle to their future children?
I guess I will say that because I am in the industry. For Kim Kardashian, I don't necessarily feel sorry for her in a sense because of the whole, like, the mom was a part of it and all that. However, I do feel for her about her son potentially finding her sex tape and stuff. And I think, for one, when I joined the industry, I told my parents, because I actually I helped my parents with the money that I got, that when it comes down to it, I will definitely have a conversation if that ever comes. But my whole thing is I'm doing everything that I'm definitely going to make sure my daughter doesn't do. So, I mean, you know, I'm an adult. I'll handle that situation when it comes. But
are you guys worried about your future children finding your old Instagram shots?
I mean, I'm not. Like, if anything, I'm like, yeah, your mom was hot back in the day.
Right.
Like, because that's what I think when I
your
look at
mom's
pictures
kinda
of, like,
hot.
my mom and dad. I'm like, dang, you were good looking. What happened? I'm just kidding. But, yeah, like, no, I think that, like...
I mean, to be fair, you don't really post shit.
Okay, well, I'm getting better at that. Okay, baby steps.
Yeah.
I think you will probably be proud of what you have produced.
Oh,
up to
yeah,
this
for
point.
sure.
Yeah.
For,
I don't
absolutely.
think
I have
you'll
nothing to hide
I don't
either.
think you'll have a problem with it.
No.
From what I've seen.
No.
But it's like modeling, though. So,
Yeah. Yeah, because of doing, you know, the pageants, I can't cross a certain line. So I can get right to the line, but I can't cross over it. So my content is very right there without fully diving in. But yeah, with the pageants, you can get exploited in a second.
Yeah.
And if they find anything like that, you're kind of screwed. Yeah.
Nugs.
I think it's really about having open communication with your kids. I feel like as soon as they reach a certain age, it's okay to talk to them about it. Kids are really, really smart. They're like sponges, and it would be way better for you to talk to them about it than, you know, their friends tell them about it.
yeah, absolutely.
I whenever I hear this question, and I have like put this question out before as well. It's like, what will happen when, like, if you had a son, if you found your OnlyFans, like how does that work out? And I have to kind of like dial that back a little bit sometimes, because a lot of guys want to say, oh, see, you're going to get yours sooner or later, you're going to get found out, and your kids are going to be ashamed of you, and your mommy's a slut. You know, that like that's what the hope is. But then I think about it and think, how many women have a digital footprint on Instagram? It doesn't even have to be doing OnlyFans, just has a digital footprint of all the yacht parties you went to. You don't even have to be having sex. You're just on the, you know, you're shaking your ass on a yacht somewhere. And being able to sort of go back and retrace your digital footprint of when you were like in your 20s and now in your 40s. And mom, boy, you were so crazy back then. Look at you on the yacht there. I think it's kind of a moot point. It's kind of irrelevant right now to talk about that, because it's going to be so common that the next generation of kids are going to be like, yeah, well, my mom was, you know, on a Fresh and Fits. Yeah, I was dancing with Fresh, you know, twerking on a yacht somewhere. That's going to happen. And I think that generation is going to interpret it differently than this generation thinks that they will, because it will be so common by that point. So,
Yeah,
is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing?
No,
I don't know, but it's going to be a thing.
So what you're referring to is like the Overton window. What we find acceptable in the future. Like again, in 1983, I remember when they came up with these ideas for like gay marriage. It was getting laughed off the fucking House and the Senate. Now, if you went up and started try to get rid of gay marriage, unless you're Clarence Thomas, you're going to get laughed off the House of the Senate. Like it would never happen. The Overton window on gay marriage changed 180 degrees over the last 30 years. The Overton window tends to shift to the left over time. People will find things that are a little bit outside the norm to be more and more acceptable. If you have conservative values and you're like, I want my wife to act like this, I want my family to be like this, then you do that in your own home. You raise your children as Christians or Muslim or agnostic or whatever you want to do. You raise them with the morals that you want, but you do that in your house. Waiting for the world to swing back to the right, it's not going to happen.
There's no pendulum.
There's no pendulum.
You only go forward.
It only goes in one direction. So that's a realization. I'm not saying that that's the way things should be. I'm speaking as a conservative. That's not the way things should be. But I know better than to try to fight the river that is flowing in one direction. I also know that my evolution created me a certain way. And when I hear Jordan say this thing is, I wanted a fucking alpha male. I loved it when he had these alpha characteristics, and I could tell that's what I wanted, because with him I wanted to have sex with him all the time. When I hear that, I'm reminded, yes, we are fucking biological creatures that were created through natural selection. That reminds me of that. You know, I see that whenever you say that. So that's the thing is guys, what happens is when they see this evolutionary mismatch, which is what all this is, they're like, well, there's an evolutionary mismatch, therefore it's the women's fault. Or women go on The View and they're like, well, when are men going to step up and start taking care of these single moms? No, it's neither side's fault. This is how evolution created us. And once you come to that realization, then you stop blaming people for how they are, and then you start saying, oh, wait a second, this is how I can get rich. This is how I can get the girl of my dreams.
Don't hate the player, hate the game.
This is how I can play the game and get everything I want. if I just understand the rules of the game and not hate the players in it.
Yeah, and I become a competitor within that framework. Okay, let me get these, and then we'll finish and we'll get out of here. Chalk T says, great show, gentlemen. Rolo, hope to bump into you at the local Guitar Center. Oh, here in Vegas? One day, and to shake your hand. Thanks for the work. Okay, thank you, brother. Fan I Am says, what would affect the ladies more if men deny you sex or money or attention? Okay, I think we already talked about it. We already got to that. D. Howard. Let's see. Hey, brothers, y'all doing a great job. Love to see y'all on Fresh and Fit. And the thing is, the women are delusional. Doesn't matter where they are. Really, that's their truth. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, thanks. And I think I saw two more in there. War is in my head. Okay, great. Thanks for the entertainment, Mike and Rolo. Us husbands and dads get what you're saying. Thanks, ladies, for your conversation tonight. Always interesting. Good. And lastly, greetings from Johannesburg, South Africa. Hey, Rolo, bought your first 3 books for myself this Christmas. Thanks for the work you do, sir. Thank you. Thank you from Las Vegas, Nevada. All right, guys. That's it. How did you guys like the show?
I liked
Final
it.
thoughts. Yes?
I liked it.
A lot of fun.
Great.
Thanks
I
for having us.
definitely want, at some point, I want you guys to all come back.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Once we're in,
This was a really
season
good
next summer, I
panel.
definitely want you to come back.
Yeah.
Just to describe the madness that was. I mean, he didn't get to come to the contest, but like the madness that this whole.
The
for
Playboy stuff, yeah.
I
Yeah,
think
but-
once we're in the summer months, it would be great to have you guys, the
Yeah.
same panel back on again.
Yeah.
So I just talked to yesterday with Hakusan, Tao Hakusan, about the bikini competition we're going to do this summer. It's probably not going to be with Playboy again, but we're going to do another one for $130,000, and so we're going to recruit a bunch of girls. Jordan, you didn't compete last year. What happened? Did I offend you somehow?
No. That's not what it was. I had an insecure boyfriend that wouldn't let me leave.
Oh,
the
he wouldn't let
house.
you compete.
So,
Okay.
yeah, no, I couldn't be
So you're gonna
on
com-
display for other men to see.
You're going to compete this year with us.
Hell yeah,
You're
let's
gonna,
go.
We're going to watch
Let's
you.
go.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. We're going to come compete, and you're going to come be a judge.
I'll be a judge.
Hey, I'm going to tell.
We
the
got to
people
get
at
Justin
Hakusan.
and Justin Wall. If Justin shows, I'll
Justin
go.
Waller's
I'll
going to
go.
be a judge. Rolo Tomasi's going to be a judge in my bikini competitions. Yeah, so we're definitely going to do that. Also, where can we find each one of you? Domo, where can we find you? What you
You
have
can
coming
find
up?
me on Instagram, DomoMonster7, and my spicy page is OnyxMuseXO on Instagram.
There you go. You should say it in ASMR voice.
Come look at my OnlyFans right now.
Check me out, guys.
Swipe up on my OnlyFans.
Write bad checks.
Yes. Oh my God. Touch your penis. Touch your penis. And $5.99 for 31 days. Touch your penis while you click my OnlyFans.
Send me your credit
All right,
card
go.
information.
Stop it.
Okay.
So many guys that are turned on right
Yeah.
Just kidding. I only have Instagram. It's just my name at Stephanie Joseph.
Guys, hey, listen. Encourage Stephanie. You need to post more. Post more,
No,
girl.
I'm trying. I actually have some stuff coming up that I'm excited to post.
I'm
soon,
excited,
so.
girl. Next year, you need to do Swimsuit USA. What do you want to do? What's going on with you?
You can just find me off Instagram under Battle Sky, and then all my links to my modeling agency and my fan club are all on my Instagram.
I love it. Beautiful.
Yep.
All my socials are Natty Nugs.
Netty nugs.
Next, do you still live with Jazz?
No.
No? Okay.
I live on my own now. It's really great.
It is? Nice. That's good. All right. We'll see you out there. I bump into Natty all the time. You're on a journey, though. Like, I can tell, like, I'm just one of the road bumps in this long journey that you're on.
Journey game.
You're at
We'll talk about
Yosemite.
this later. It'll
Okay,
be
cool,
fun.
because that's really interesting. And where can we find you, Rollo?
You can always find me on this channel that you're watching right now, which is the Rational Male. My main show is on at 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern every Sunday. Of course, go pick up my books. I have 5 of them. This is the Rational Male series. The first one, of course, is The Bible of the Manosphere, Red Pill. And by the way, after we got back from Miami, I will tell you, man, it's just like I've had this renewed interest. This is actually book number 4. So do go check that out. All of my books are available on Amazon and on Audible and on Kindle as well. So if that's your thing, and then get them on Audible and listen to them at 3 times speed, right? And then you'll get it all.
Do triple
bashed
speed on
in your
Audible. You go
brain.
3.5 speed on Audible.
Yeah,
for
I was
sure.
gonna say so. And then you can find me on I am Rolo Tomasi at Rational Male on Twitter. That's an easy way to find me. And then I'm Rational_Male on Instagram.
Beautiful. Hey, first off, I want to say thank you to Fresh and Fit for having me out.
Yeah,
Last
that
week
was
I did.
good.
We did 3 shows with them. I did Monday, Wednesday, Friday with them. I did actually 4 because we did
And
early one with you.
Valuetainment as well.
Yeah, awesome. So I want to say thank you to them. I want to say thank you to Valuetainment for having me. I did 2 shows with them, and then I did 2 shows with Justin Waller. So shout out to Justin Waller. I want to say shout out to Andrew Tate. He wants me to come out. He says he's not going to come here, so I'm going to have to go out to either Romania or Dubai and do an interview with him. So thank you guys. We got thousands of new subscribers on my channel, so I want to say thank you. You guys are all huge and have really helped me a whole lot. And ladies, I want to say thank you guys for coming on. Really, I hope you enjoyed it. I want to make this like a regular thing, where people come and we have drinks and eat pizza and talk shit about each other's boyfriends.
Yeah, bring pizza.
Hell yeah.
We can definitely do that next time.
I would love to get Jedediah Bila in here as a guest.
For sure.
And have them here.
We'll definitely do that at some point.
And just chew it out. Yeah, that'd be great.
Awesome, guys. Well, thank you guys so much, and we will see you all in 2 weeks. Actually, more than 2 weeks. We're going to do it in January. Next one is going to be in January when this place opens up, and it's going to be wild. It's going to be probably
the week. AVN week?
Yeah, it's going to be AVN week. So if you guys were really offended by the fact that we had Domo on here who does porn, we're going to have a lot more. So get ready.
Wait till you see the
clinch
AVN
your fucking.
awards.
Here you go, guys. Clinch your buttholes and gnash your teeth. No, the 304s.
Go tell.
No, I hate the 304s.
Yes.
Nah.
Yeah, go tell CGA to we're going to do the AVN show.
For sure, man.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, guys. Take care.
Guys, thanks.
Stay safe.
Bye.
Maybe think again.